In just a moment, X-1. But first, how does one man get himself into so many impossible situations? Well, this is a question you'll probably ask yourself tomorrow night when you follow another hilarious misadventure of Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. Yes, Gildy's eye for the ladies and his impulsive temperament managed to entangle him in a web of riotous circumstances. Be sure to join the romantic water commissioner, his neighbors, Judge Hooker, Mr. Peavy, and all the loyal Gildersleeve household as they romp through another episode of The Great Gildersleeve tomorrow night. And now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC.
X-1 salutes our Philadelphia station. Its new call letters, WRCV.
Countdown for blast-off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X-1.
Tonight's story, Skulking Permit, by Robert Sheckley.
August 16th, year 2204. 2. Central Colonial Administrative Authority, Alpha Centauri Sector. From Colonial Contact Inspector 37. Subject, Planet New Delaware. Following the procedure outlined in manual for contact with lost colonies, open communication by interstellar radio with New Delaware. This is the first contact established in 200 years. And proceeding on overdrive for personal investigation. Situation on New Delaware appears unconventional, to say the least.
Hi there. Hi, Billy.
Hi, Tom. Got no time for talking this morning. Got to get this sign up.
It's a real pretty sign. No aliens allowed within city limits. What's an alien?
Beats me. The mayor told me to put it up. He says to me, Billy Painter, you're chief of police, so I want you to paint me a big sign and set it right in front of the town hall.
Aliens. Aliens. Oh, it's a real pretty word.
Billy Painter, I thought I told you.
Take it easy, Mayor. I put the sign up.
It's not that, it's the church.
I painted it just like you told me.
I know, but you painted it wrong.
I painted that church with a nice bright red. What's wrong with that?
I looked it up. It's a little red schoolhouse, not church house. Churches are supposed to be white.
Can't keep track of them all. Schoolhouse, church house, jail, post office. Got along fine enough in New Delaware for 200 years without them.
I know, but we need them now, and we haven't got much time. Where are the carpenter boys?
I saw Sam and Marv over at Ed Beer's Tavern.
Well, Billy, you go down there and tell them that they've got to build us a little schoolhouse, and you paint it red. It's very important.
Mayor, when do I get a police chief badge? I read that a police chief always gets a badge.
Make yourself one. Now go on.
All right, then.
Oh, it sure is hot here. I don't know why the inspector couldn't have come in winter. Oh, Tom Fisher.
Yeah?
Tom, I've got a job for you, a very important job.
Well, now, look, Mayor, I'm on vacation. Fish won't be back in these waters.
No vacation, not now. He's due any day. Tom, how would you like to be a criminal?
I don't know. What's a criminal?
Well, come over to my house and I'll explain. I've got to appoint a criminal, and it looks to me like you're it. You don't mind sitting right next to the interstellar radio, do you? I'm waiting for a call.
Thought that thing was broken.
No, it wasn't broken. My father told me always to leave the monitor on recording in case. Just didn't seem to be anybody calling, not for 200 years. Not since that war back on Earth. Oh, it's time now. You just listen to them. They said that they would call just at this time.
New Delaware.
New Delaware, do you hear me? New Delaware, come in immediately.
Yes, we hear you. He's very touching.
This is Colonial Inspector 37. As I told you in my broadcast yesterday, there's been no contact with the outer colonies for some centuries due to unsettled conditions here. But that's over, except for a little mopping up. Now, New Delaware is still a colony of Earth and subject to her laws. Do you acknowledge that status?
Oh, yes. We called a town meeting last night and talked it all over. We're still loyal to Earth.
Excellent. That saves us the trouble of sending an expeditionary force to reconquer you. However, as Colonial Contact Inspector, I will be obliged to make a personal investigation to make sure that you conform fully to the customs, institutions, and traditions of Imperial Earth.
Imperial? That's funny. All the books talk about Earth as a united democracy.
Well, a lot can change in 200 years. And, of course, there's been a war.
Do you hear me, New Delaware?
Oh, yes, sir. We hear you.
You realize, of course, there is room for only one intelligent species in the universe. Man. All others must be suppressed, wiped out. We can tolerate no aliens. I'm sure you understand, General.
I'm not a general. I'm a mayor.
You're in charge, aren't you?
Yes.
Then you're a general. Now be sure you're running an Earth colony, General, with no radical departures from the norm, such as free will, free speech, free elections, or anything else on the proscribed list. It is impossible to administer an empire where everyone does as he pleases. Get your colony in order, General. I will call to inspect you in exactly 1 week. That is all.
Well, you see how it is, Tom. Now, Tom, about your job. I'm appointing you town criminal.
I don't see why there has to be a criminal.
That's a very important part of Earth society. All the books say so, Tom. The criminal is as important as the postman or the police chief. He works against society. If you don't have people working against society, how can you have people working for it? How can there be any more important job?
I don't want to do it.
Now, be reasonable, Tom. Put yourself in my position. This inspector comes and he meets Billy Painter, our police chief. He asks to see the jail. Then he says, no prisoners? How can I hold my head up and tell him that we don't have any crime? No crime, he'll say. But Earth colonies always have crime. Don't you see that, Tom? Right there, the whole thing falls through. He'll see that we're not truly Earth-like. We're faking it. We're aliens. And you heard what he said about being rough on aliens.
Well, yeah, but why me?
Can't spare anyone else. And you've got narrow eyes. Criminals always have narrow eyes.
Well, they aren't that narrow.
Tom, please, we're all doing our part. You want to help now, don't you?
Oh, I suppose so.
Fine. You're our criminal. Here, I've got this paper all made out for you, just to make it legal.
Skulking permit.
Know all men by these presents that Tom Fisher is a duly authorized thief and murderer. He is hereby required to skulk in dismal alleys, haunt places of low repute, and to break the law.
What's the law?
I'll let you know as fast as I make them up. All Earth colonies have laws.
Oh, well, what do I do?
You steal and kill. Look, I'll give you a couple of books on it. Steal as much as you like. One murder should be enough. Don't overdo it.
It don't sound sensible somehow.
Well, you can work up to it, Tom. Why don't you start off easy, like by haunting a place of low repute?
Hello, Tom. I hear you're our official criminal now.
That's right. I have a beer.
How's it going?
Well, I've been studying. I can't put my finger on it yet.
Hey, did you get the weapons Mary Carpenter sent over?
Yeah, a hatchet, a spear, 2 knives, and a blackjack.
Uh-huh.
I stuck myself with a spear, Ed. The whole thing ain't sensible to me. I can't figure out what's the purpose of crime. What do people get out of it?
Here's the beer. I tried a new route this time. Tell me how you like it.
Very dry. Less filling.
How come you ain't out thieving now, Tom?
Oh, I'm planning. My permit says I have to haunt places of low repute, and that's why I'm here.
Well, this ain't no place of low repute.
You serve the worst meals in town.
I know. My wife can't cook. But there's a real friendly atmosphere here. The folks like it, Tom.
It's all changed, Ed. I'm making this tavern my headquarters. It's now a criminal lair.
Try to keep a nice place, and a lot of thanks you get.
Hi, Tom. You steal anything yet?
Oh, well, not yet, Mary, no.
I'll have a Paracuda, Ed. Don't worry, Tom. You'll catch on. If anyone in this village can learn, you can.
Sure, we got confidence in you, Tom.
Why don't don't you steal something right now, Tom? Go ahead.
Well, suppose I could.
I brought some geefers in my basket. They're real ripe. You could steal those.
Well, they are nice-looking geepers, Mary. Real tasty.
Go ahead, Tom. Steal it.
Well, These are nice-looking geepers. Mind if I take one out the light and look at it?
No, Tom, you go right ahead.
Now, just a minute there.
Hi, Billy. What do you have?
I'm on official police business. What were you doing with that geefer, Tom?
Just looking at it.
I don't think you were just looking at it, Tom. I think you were planning on stealing it. You're a suspicious character. I think I better lock you up for further questioning.
No, Billy. What are you doing?
I'm doing my duty, Mayor. Tom here is looking mighty suspicious. The book says...
I know what the book says. I gave you the book. You can't go arresting Tom, not yet.
But there's no other criminal in the village.
Oh, Billy, don't you understand? This village needs a criminal record. Acting suspiciously isn't a crime.
All right, but I was just trying to do my job. I'll still get you, Tom. Remember, crime does not pay.
Hey, that's a real slick way of putting it, isn't it?
I thought it was kind of catchy. I read it in the book.
Well, Tom, go ahead now. Steal something.
Well, I'm not in the mood anymore.
You better get to it soon, and don't forget the murder.
Is it really necessary?
Oh, I wish it weren't, but this colony has been here for over 200 years, and we haven't had a single murder. Not one.
I suppose we should have one. No, I'll take care of it.
Good boy, Tom. We're counting on you. Billy, I want you to paint up a couple hundred signs saying private property, no trespassing, violators will be prosecuted, and a dozen saying speed limit 35 miles an hour.
Why? All we got is those quag horses, and they won't go faster than a walk.
Never mind. You got to have a speed limit. It's civilized. Well, that's the last of the signs, Billy. You might as well get some sleep.
Aren't you going home, Mayor?
No, I've got to get out to Fred Farmers. I appointed him postmaster. Since nobody ever sends letters around here, I promised to help him write all those letters.
Well, good night, Mayor. I guess I better be making my rounds.
Yeah, good night, Billy.
Who's that? Tom? Tom Fisher? You out thieving? Who's there? Don't move, or I'll shoot. Hey, Tom, come back.
Hey, what's going on out there? What's all the racket?
It's the town criminal, Ed. I think I heard him robbing your house.
Yeah?
He's made his getaway now, but don't you worry. I'll get him yet.
All right, but get him in the morning, will you? Some of us are trying to sleep.
Morning, Marv. How's the schoolhouse coming?
Fair. Would have come along better if I had my saw.
Your saw?
Yeah. I left it leaning against my door last night. Wasn't there this morning, Tom.
Oh, yeah, your saw. Well, you know how it is, Marv. I had to practice some skulking last night.
Yeah, sure. Say, do you suppose I could use the saw for a while, just for an hour or two?
Well, I don't know. It's legally stolen, you know.
Well, I'd give it back. I wouldn't keep anything that was legally stolen.
Well, it's in the house with the rest of the loot.
Okay, I'll go borrow it then.
Tom, I've been looking for you.
Morning, Mayor.
Did you steal my bronze plaque?
I certainly did.
Oh, well, I was just wondering. You did it just in time. You see up there?
What?
Up there, the black dot near the rim of the sun.
Oh, what is it?
Well, I'll bet it's the inspector's ship. You got your murder planned? Time is running short, Tom. The inspector may land any hour now. That darn radio's been yapping at me something about a revolt at Deng 4, and all Earth colonies are to prepare for conscription, whatever that is. So let's get that killing over with.
I don't know, though. Murder.
Now, look, Tom, criminals on Earth commit dozens of murders a day and think nothing of it. All this village wants of you is one little killing. Is that too much to ask? Now, who will it be, Tom?
Oh, I guess I'll kill George Waterman.
Why?
Why? Why not?
What's your motive?
I thought you just wanted a murder. Who said anything about a motive?
We can't have a fake murder. On Earth, every murderer has a motive.
Well, I don't like the way George walks, never did, and he's noisy.
No. That might be good enough for a crime of passion, but you're a legal criminal. Tom, you're ruthless, cold-blooded, and cunning. You can't kill someone just because you don't like the way he walks. That's silly.
I better think the whole thing over.
Well, don't take too long. Oh, and Tom, don't forget to leave clues. They're very important.
Have another beer, Tom.
I don't mind if I do.
Hey, how do you like the way I fixed the tavern over? I hung up dirty curtains, you know. That makes it a dismal retreat. Because I figured if this was going to be your headquarters, it ought to be a real criminal's lair. How do you like the bloodstains on the floor?
That's only Billy Painter's rootberry red paint.
Oh, I know, but it looks like bloodstains. Hey, how's the murder coming?
Oh, not so good. No, I've been thinking about it, Ed. You realize I'm supposed to kill somebody? I'm supposed to make somebody cease to exist. I mean, like, take Marv Carpenter. Here he is today working on a schoolhouse, big fella. Now, if I kill him, well, he wouldn't work anymore. I've been trying to imagine it. Marv Carpenter lying on the ground with his eyes glaring open and his mouth twisted and never going to hold a piece of wood in his hands again or never going to sing a song or have a beer or anything. Well, it just made me kind of sick. I mean, I could go on with the thieving, but murder...
Yeah, I know, but, Tom, it's your job. It's for the good of the village.
Murder. I better have another beer. Hey, what's that?
That must be the inspector's ship landing. Come on, let's go see.
Perimeter guard advance. Set up portable generators and rocket launchers. All personnel restricted to immediate area of the ship. Sidearms to be worn at all times. And guards at battle station.
Welcome to New Delaware.
Thank you, General. I'm the inspector. This is Mr. Grant, my political advisor.
Is this the capital of the colony?
Well, I'm afraid there's only this village on the whole of New Delaware.
Only one? Now, Grant, I told you when we surveyed the planet we were wasting our time.
Patience. There's always an advantage in every situation.
If you gentlemen are ready...
Ready?
You're going to inspect our village, aren't you?
Inspect? I can see it all.
Why, of course, General. We're ready. Let's inspect your village.
You see, we've got it all. Jail, post office, church, little red schoolhouse. Oh, we're very normal, very earthy.
Grant, I have my efficiency rating to think of. This place is worthless. No smelting, no heavy industry, no atomics, no taxation, no, they don't have anything.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Inspector. If you'll excuse us, General.
Of course.
I'll be downgraded at the next colonial board. Why, this place is a utopia. It's subversive. We ought to blow it right out of the sky.
No, don't be despondent, Inspector.
But this whole trip is a total waste of time.
Not entirely. New Delaware has a very important commodity for us.
What? You saw them? Hulking peasants? Nothing but farmers.
Yes, strong, healthy farmers. Good cannon fodder.
But...
Ooh, let me take over. General.
Yes, sir?
How many able young men are there in the village between the ages of 15 and 60?
Why?
You see, General, Imperial Earth is engaged in a war. The colonies in Deng 4 are revolting against the authority of Mother Earth.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
We need good, healthy fighting men. Our reserves are depleted.
We wish to give all loyal colonists a chance to fight for Mother Earth. We're sure you won't refuse. Most colonies welcome a little conscription. Cleanses the blood, reduces crime.
Crime? Oh, I thought that would come up. We've taken care of that. I appointed...
Now, you see, Grant, 60, 70, perhaps 100 recruits. Not such a waste of time coming here at all.
Perhaps not.
Sergeant, detail a squad of 50 men armed with portable heat generators to post a guard in the village. All right, Mr. Mayor. Suppose we go talk this problem over.
Tom, you out there?
Yeah. I've been skulking out here all day. I'm hungry.
Well, I brought you supper. The mayor sent you a message, Tom. He said to hurry up at the murder. He's been stalling the inspector and that nasty little Grint man, but they're going to ask him. They're sure to.
All right. And I'll get around to it tonight. Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, hello, Tom. What are you doing?
Well, you said there had to be a murder, so
Now,
I'm...
wait. I didn't mean me. It can't be me.
Well, why not?
Well, for one thing, somebody has to talk to the inspector. He's waiting for me. Someone has to
Billy
show him
Painter
how to...
can do that. You think a knife would be more fatal in the heart or in the throat? Well, nothing personal, of course.
Wait. If there's nothing personal, then you have no motive.
Oh. Well, I guess I could think of one. I've been pretty sore about you appointing me town criminal.
It was the mayor who appointed you, wasn't it?
Well, sure.
Then look, I'm not a mayor anymore. I'm a general. Look, it's stars, gold braid.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Well, you missed the ceremony this afternoon, Tom. Inspector said I had to wear a general's uniform. It was a very friendly ceremony. All the Earthmen were grinning. They were winking at me and at each other.
Oh, congratulations. But you were the mayor when you appointed me criminal, so my motive still holds.
Yes, but killing a general isn't murder. It's mutiny.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's just that I've read up on it, and you haven't. Well, I better get back. The inspector wants a lot of the men that he can draft.
Are you sure this murder is necessary?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Just not me.
No luck, huh, Tom?
I just can't do it. Ed, I can't kill anybody in the village. I grew up with them. I've worked with them. I've drunk root beer with them. I don't have any motive for killing any of them.
I know, but you do have to commit a murder, Tom. You don't want to let the village down.
But I can't kill the people I've known all my life.
No, I suppose not.
Wait a minute. I got an idea. Ed, suppose I kill the inspector.
Well, what's your motive?
Oh, it would be a very terrible crime. I'd be killing for glory, for fame, for notoriety, and it'll show Earth how earthy New Delaware really is. Why, they'll say crime is so bad here that a criminal actually killed their inspector on the very first day.
Tom, that's just the sort of thing a master criminal would do.
Oh, you think it's a good idea, huh?
I think it's great, Tom. But how are you going to do it?
Well, one of those soldiers got drunk on a bottle of your Keebler juice and dropped his gun. I picked it up.
Oh, is that a gun?
Yeah, you push this button here.
Hey, look out!
I'm sorry, Ed.
Now I'll have to get the carpenter boys to fix that hole in the roof.
Oh, well, I'll be careful.
Did you kill the soldier?
Of course not. No point in killing the wrong man. Well, I better get going. I'll wait for him on the path between the mayor's house and the ship.
Good luck, Tom.
Thanks.
Up, 2, 3, 4. Keep in line there. Ah, what a sloppy crew. All left feet.
Well, it's a nice night's work. With those landing parties dying like flies, we can use every new man we can get.
Don't say that.
What, are you afraid the mayor will hear me? Don't be ridiculous. It's a completely passive population. Sheep-like, obedient.
Look at them. No two of them in step.
Well, what do you expect from backwood agrarians? Wait till those sergeants get hold of them at the base. They'll whip them into first-class fighting men in no time.
Halt! Stand and deliver!
What's that? Why, it's Tom.
Hands up, Inspector.
Huh?
I got you covered. Now, the rest of you drop your guns and move out of the way.
What? Now, see here.
Now, go on now, drop those guns.
Now, what's the meaning of this?
And who are you?
Tom Fisher. I'm the town criminal. I'm going to kill the inspector. Now, please move out of the way.
Criminal? So that's what the mayor was prattling about.
Now, I know we haven't had any murders in 200 years, but I'm changing that now. Now, move out of the way.
Well, I suppose I'd better get out of the line of fire.
No, wait a minute, wait.
Now, don't move. I know just how to do it. I've been thinking about it. Now, I'll push this button, and you'll die. You'll fall down on the path, and your eyes will open, and your mouth twisted, and no air going in and out of your lungs, and no beat to your heart, and I can't do it. Here's your gun. Take it. I don't want it.
Quick, after him. Sergeant, take a squad and search the forest.
Take it easy, Inspector. This whole planet is forest. 10,000 men couldn't find him if he doesn't want to be.
But I'll have him hanged on the spot.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Sergeant, have the entire ship's company turned out. General, I want all your people out looking for him. Shoot on sight. Kill him instantly.
Oh, we couldn't do that. Although we appreciate the compliment.
What? That man's
He's a criminal. That's what I'm trying to explain. I appointed him. We had to have one.
You what?
You mean you had no criminals?
Well, I'm afraid not. Oh, I'm terribly ashamed. You see, we knew how uncivilized we were, and that's why we did it. I'm dreadfully embarrassed that Tom couldn't handle the job.
Well, why did you give the assignment to that particular man?
Well, I figured if anyone could kill, Tom could. He's a fisherman, you know. Pretty gory work. Oh,
And he wasn't able to kill the inspector.
Well, we just haven't had to kill anything for 200 years except fish. The only animals on New Delaware are small grass eaters, and they're not good to eat, so we never kill any of them.
Then the rest of you would be equally unable to kill?
We wouldn't even get as far as Tom did.
I want that man found.
Forget about it, Inspector.
What?
We'd better get away from here. You want men in our army who can't kill?
Oh.
Think of it. The morale problem.
Oh.
The possibility of infection. One man in a key position endangering a key ship or maybe a whole fleet because he can't kill. It isn't worth the risk, Inspector.
Yes, sir. I see what you mean.
Order your troops back to the ship. We'll take off at once.
Tom! Tom, you can come out now. Tom, they're gone.
He's hiding around here somewhere, Mayor.
Yeah. Tom! Tom!
Here I am. I'm sorry I bungled it.
Well, don't feel bad about it. It was an impossible job.
I'm afraid it was. I thought that just possibly you could swing it, but you can't be blamed, Tom. There's not another man in the village who could have done the job even as well.
What are we going to do with all those buildings, Mayor? The jail, the post office, the little red schoolhouse, the church?
Well, I think we'll build a playground for the kids with swings and slides and sandboxes for them.
Another playground?
Surely, why not?
Well, I guess I won't be needing my skulking permit anymore.
No, I guess not. Oh, well, we did our best.
I had the chance, then I let you all down.
It's not your fault, Tom. Look how long it took Earth to get civilized. Thousands of years. And we were trying to do it in 2 weeks.
Well, we'll just have to go back to being uncivilized.
Yeah.
Well, we better get back to the village. Looks like rain.
Well, soon I'll start fishing again. Say.
What is it, Tom?
Oh, it's too late now, but it's too bad I didn't think of it before. I might have been able to go through with it.
Think of what, Tom?
I think I could have done it. If I'd only had the sense to think of the inspector as a fish. Well, it's too late now. Guess he's just a big one that got away.
You've just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features an unusual story by James E. Gunn, Cylana, a story of what happened when crime suddenly invaded a crimeless society, and where the only way to catch a thief was to manufacture a thief. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Skulking Permit, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Robert Sheckley and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Dick Hamilton, Wendell Holmes, Joe DeSantis, Joseph Boland, Alan Hewitt, Bill Quinn, Mandel Kramer, and Ruby Dee. Your announcer, Jack Costello. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Let's visit Fibber McGee and Molly tonight.
Check, testing 1, 2, 3. Is this Say God? Hello, good morning. Is this? Oh, fuck it. Good morning, weirdos. You know what time it is. I guess it's 5 a.m. on the Pacific Coast here. That's right. Let me take this off here. Get back to normal. How are we all doing today? Ooh, look, I dropped a couple of frames. I don't know how the hell that happened. I didn't touch nothing. Well, as usual, you can hear my air conditioner in the background pumping away at 5 a.m. trying to keep this place cool before the sun comes up, because usually at midnight it's just below 100 degrees. Isn't that just swell? Isn't it just special? Well, good morning to anyone who's still there. I noticed that for a second there I had 4 people watching, and then all of a sudden we're back to just me again. I'm assuming that if Joey isn't still here, he's gone off to bed. Good night, sir. Pleasant dreams. Have a good night tomorrow. Tonight, today. Have a good day at work tonight. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, like that. I had a fantastic show last night. As lousy as I felt and as depressed as I was, I had a great show last night. Mainly because Jenilyn showed by. Jenilyn, she's a person who stops by and hangs out, and it's Joey over there in Virginia says it's very hot and humid at night, and I know where you're coming from. It got really cloudy and rainy and humid here. So I just stayed inside with the air conditioner on. You go outside, and it's one thing when the heat hits you, but when the heat is attached to moisture, there's no escaping it. There really isn't. You walk outside, and it's like a wall just smacks into you. You just you catch on fire, right? Yeah, it was great stuff. But Jenilyn stopped by and hung out and watched the show for a little while. I'm hoping she enjoyed the whole show. Let me warm up my coffee here. It was a good show. want to come in here, Sammy? There's a bed up here if you want to come in here. Come on. No? You want to get in with the kids, huh? You want to go to bed with the kids? You want to lay down here? Come on. Come on. Hang on here, buddy. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good boy. There you go. Well, Mr. Sand decided to come out and join me for a few minutes. Oh, my coffee. He probably won't be here long. He likes to go back to bed. That's a good buddy, though. He's a good buddy. He's one of the best buddies in the world. Well, he's got to be the best buddy in the world. He is. Now he wants to go to bed. Oh. Or water. Arr. Well, doggy. How are you, people? Chime in if you want to talk about some TV stuff, because this is totally Television Tuesday today. You know. And, man, do I watch a lot of TV. So hit me up. What do you want to talk about? Are there any shows on any of these streaming channels that you want to talk about? I'm talking old shows. I don't want to talk about new stuff. I want to talk about old TV shows that you're watching, streaming, watching on DVD. All right. I think the dog is now situated. He's gotten up. He's gone back and forth in and out of rooms. He's gotten water. Now he's gone back outside. Let's just hope he's got it under control at this point, and not just have me under control. All right, here I am, waking up, postnasal, slumber intoxication. Yeah, that's it. I'm still sleepy. You know what that calls for. You know what that calls for. I'm telling you, hello. I said it calls for some bong hits here. Got to do some bong hits, man. Yeah. Right, big face. Big face. Did you get your hunk of cereal bar and now you're all floppy-tailed? This is a big baby foos. Big baby foos. Yeah. You like my Krusty Krab hat? It's for when I'm feeling crusty and crabby. Yeah. Because I hate feeling crabby. Are you kidding me? I hate it. Sometimes I just hate feeling, right? You just want to stop feeling everything, right? It's called death, son. I know. I get it. Yeah. Sometimes it's just too much, too much. So, Love Boat, hello. What a fun show, you know? What a fun show, The Love Boat. I really enjoy that show. It's just a lot of fun, you know? Special guest stars every week, new stories, new stupid humor, right? It's just classic television there. It's ABC television, of course. You can tell by the pool on the Love Boat, because if you look at the pool on the Love Boat, it's a Mickey. It's a Mickey with the face and the two ears. It's a Mickey. It's a Mickey Mouse pool. Why? Because Princess Cruise and ABC Television are both owned by Disney. That's where we get the Disney cruises. They start off as the Princess. Princess, hello, get it? Isn't that fantastic stuff there? I bet you didn't know that. They tried to bring the Love Boat back a couple of times, right? And revamp it. It just didn't work. You know, I think because they keep trying to revamp it, and they need to devamp it. They need to unvamp the vamping. They need to do it like it used to be done. You know, well, they don't have the same writers, of course not. But it's just not the same. There's no way it could be the same unless you completely go back and go full-blown retro with it. You know, like most of these reboots, the biggest bummer is that they try to bring it into the now, and they shouldn't. What they should do is they should take us into the past. That's what imagination is. You know, they do all of the imagining for us, and we just sit there going, duh. You know, yeah, I think if they're going to redo something from the past, they should take us to the past, not bring it into the present, right? Like when they redid Magnum P.I., the TV series, bad form to just completely take it and then usurp it, right? And redesign what was already perfect. Now, had they gone back into the past, right, and decided that maybe Magnum had a son, and this Magnum is an extension of that Magnum, right? Not a whole completely new Magnum, right? That's just ridiculous. It's stupid. It's the same thing with the Hawaii Five-0 reboot. Stupid ass. You know, the only reason they're doing this stuff is for propaganda, basically. I mean, they see these characters who are classic naval intelligence characters, and they want to bring people on board, right? Got to bring them on board, get them used to the new order of things, and there you go. There you go, and you totally destroy something from the past so that you could have a better handle on people in the present, right? That's just stupid. That's just fucking stupid. Oh, I thought this was my Tom and Jerry shirt. I didn't realize it was my Underdog shirt. This is my Walmart shirt, right? This, for some reason, I wind up going to Walmart and I'll look down and go, oh, I got the shirt on again. A lot of times I'll go to Walmart wearing a Walmart t-shirt, you know. And yeah, it's not planned. It ain't planned. It ain't. I swear I didn't do it. So, I did work yesterday. I went out with the little lady and we went and we cleaned the house. It was the only thing on our agenda. In fact, it was pretty funny. We went to the house we were supposed to clean, and I walked in and went, nobody stayed here. And I'm looking around, and I got like just 5 steps into the house, and I'm thinking, nope, nobody stayed here. It was a cancellation. So it's like, oh wow, what a bummer, you know. It's like, oh man, we were really counting on this day's worth of work, right? And then it was like gone, just like that. And then we're like, oh fuck it, let's just go home. Then I'm hungry. Let's go home, have some lunch, and then we'll, you know, run into town with the kids and get a couple of, you know, I was like, okay, fuck it, we'll just move forward, right? Fuck it, get a day off. So we're driving home, and we're just a block away from where we turned to our house, which is another block, and it's the other house, same customer, different house, right? So they have 2 houses. And my wife mentioned something to the effect of, I wonder if somebody's staying in the other house. And I went, oh shit, go. And she went, what? And I said, go, turn. And she was like just about ready to go left. And I'm saying, no, get in the other lane and go right. Go to the house. And she's like, okay. So we go over to the house, we pull in, nothing in the driveway, nothing. I said, uh-huh. I walked in, and I was just going to walk in and poke around and then come out and then trick her, right? And take, oh, come on, we got to clean here instead, right? And I was just gonna walk outside and say, oh, and make her, you know, think she's got to turn off the engine and get in the house. And so I walk in the house, and as soon as I open the door, I go, and it's like, oh, somebody's been cooking, right? And this is a house that's supposed to be empty, and the other house is supposed to be rented, right? You get where I'm going? So I go in, and I see a chair out of place, and I turn the corner and see a bed unmade, and I'm like, yep, the bitch made a mistake. And by that I mean the person who does our booking for us is totally not there, you know. It's not her houses, so she doesn't care. Therefore, she makes way more mistakes than she needs to. And of course, she's probably on vacation. And, how would it have looked had we screwed up and not cleaned a house, and then somebody showed up to a house that we didn't know we were supposed to clean, and it's a dirty house, right? Trying to make us look bad. So we cleaned the house. And I felt really good having figured that out. It was like, okay, we could have just gone straight home and not even thought about checking the other house, and that house would have sat over there empty and dirty until it got rented again, right? And then I'm like, the dishes are clean in the dishwasher, but the dishwasher is cool and the dishes are cool and dry. Did they check out today? Did they check out last week? When did this place check out? And who was it? Do we even know? Right? Is somebody screwing up the bookings here? So, yes, somebody's screwing up the bookings because somebody has their head up their ass. Do I want to be responsible for the bookings? They just asked at one of our other houses, do we want to be responsible for the entire house, the bookings, everything? It's like, dude, you're going to sell the house, and we're probably going to be out that work and have to get another house to take care of. Do I want to be responsible for your house for a couple of months before you sell it and have to learn everything about? No, I don't need that extra weight on me. No. We make just fine cleaning the houses, maintaining the houses, fixing things in the houses. That job is for my secretary. Give me a secretary, and boom, we'll do that. Otherwise, I don't even want to think about that kind of crap, I don't want to deal with customers, period, let alone have to deal with them from beginning to end. It's bad enough when I show up to clean the place and there's still a customer there and I gotta wait, or I gotta go knock on the door and say, hey man, you should have been gone 20 fucking minutes ago. Hit the road, Jack. So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going in. Anybody want to join me? Anybody want to join me? I'll wait. Go ahead. Go ahead. All right, I'm not waiting anymore. Totally. I got a package over here I need to mail. Finally got it all tightened up. I just get out to the post office and find out how much it's going to be to ship this thing. I haven't shipped anything in a while. I enjoy sending weird stuff to people. It's fun. Ooh, it is. It's fun. It's a non-profit channel here, so I kind of have to pick and choose when I can do this stuff. But it's a lot of fun. Yeah, baby. Absolutely. Oh, baby. I'm telling you now. Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Wyoming. I don't know what the fuck that was about. It's a signal to my alien compadres out there who are watching. Oh, baby. So, Totally Television Tuesday. Have you been keeping up with what's happening on the channel? Last night we had Nova, Farmers of the Sea, right? Basically, people who gather food from the ocean. You know, fish, barnacles, whatever people eat out of the ocean, you know, seaweed, sea urchins. A little bit of that grit inside of one of them oysters. Oh, you know that grit turns into pearls, dude. Yeah, pearls, man. And you know what they call little pearls? They call them mini pearls. Shut up. I'll be ding dang darned. He's getting weird again. Totally. Yeah, I'm getting weird. Getting weird. Well, you know what? I like getting weird. Like I have to go any place to get weird. I don't have to do anything to be weird. All I gotta do is open my eyes. Okay. Here's the radio I'm working on for Old Time Radio Wednesday. This is the radio that I'm putting together for my old time radio stuff and nighttime nonsense and nostalgia. Oh yeah, baby. So this radioactive, doodly-doo. It's radioactive, doodly-doo. So that radio that I just showed you is white. It used to be wood. It used to be white wood. And then somebody put in a coat of enamel on it, right? Not black enamel like the Maltese Falcon. Somebody put a coat of white enamel on it. And there it is. So there are many radios in this book of old radios, but there is only one in here that resembles that one there. The style of the dials, the shape of the cabinet. It's really hard to narrow down exactly which one this is. But to me, it looks like a 1932 California two-tone wood radio by Philco. And yes, it is Philco. I've looked inside. It is Philco. All of the shape of this radio looks very much like the radio. This one here looks very much like the radio in question. It's hard to tell from this photograph, but it appears to be the radio. It's just had an enamel paint job, and it's got the four knobs. It's got the little window. It looks like it's missing the little frame that goes around the window, and then it's missing the screen, the fabric over the speaker. So my plan is to take that. My plan is to take that radio and there's my Philco. There's my Philco. My plan is to take that radio and strip the enamel off and take it back down to wood, right? And then once it's back down to wood, then on the front, right, I've got to remove all the dials and strip the paint from the dials. I have to strip the paint from the front, remove the front, so that I can put new fabric on the inside over the speaker. If I can find a new speaker for it, I will replace the speaker. It's hard to find the right speaker size, shape, with the correct electronic components attached to it, right? Because it's not just straight wired into it. It usually runs through some kind of capacitor or diode or some crap. I don't know. Just some weird shit. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that thing up. I want to use it as a prop. So I want to straighten up that little window in there and get it clean. and make it so that it looks like it is working. Get some kind of light going on in there. I put a little candle in the window. So I'm going to get it cleaned up and looking good on the face. The back side of it looks like it's really heavy-duty enamel on the top and the back, right? The whole back shape of it. So I may wind up picking up a piece of veneer and then just veneering the back and then staining it to match the front, right? And that's if I can get it stripped down. I have to take that whole face off and then possibly brush paint remover on it and then remove all of the enamel. It really wants to chip off of there. I'm hoping that I can just very patiently chip and flake all of that paint off of there. Well, it's going to be about time to replace my daughter's air conditioner. She runs that thing 24/7. Ever since she got it, she's run it 24/7. And it's just one of those little window air conditioners. Her place is, her bedroom is always her perfect temperature. You know, it's like, oh, get in there and it's cold. The dog's always curled up under a blanket. That's the way she wants it, right? She wants her room to be that temperature. It feels like you're in a doctor's office, a classroom, a bank, right? Some place where they keep the temperature really cool because the doors are always opening and closing, right? So she's used to being in school a lot, which is where she's used to being in this temperature. So she keeps her room at that temperature, and I totally get it. Having been homeless as a child, having grown up living in cars and tents and vans and shit, and places without environmental control, right? Where you're just you want to cool off, roll the window down. You want to get cooler, get naked. You want to get cooler, get wet. I mean, that's it, right? And so coming from that and having had to deal with that for 40 years of my life, you know, if you're sick, it's worse because there's no air conditioner and you're just going to be miserable. If you're sick, it's going to be worse because there's no heater and you're going to be miserable. You know, if you're sick, it's going to be worse because you live in a van down by the river, right? So I told my wife, I said, look, you know, we both come from really harsh childhoods, right? Really extreme conditions, right? Let's let her have a good childhood, you know. Let her, if she wants to crank that fucking air up, let her crank it up, you know. Yeah, we pay a little bit extra for electricity because of that, but it's worth it to not have to, you know, listen to your kids say, I'm hot, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm sick, or whatever, you know. Knock out as many of those as possible, you know, so that when she's sick, she's not, I feel horrible. She's sick, she goes into her room, she adjusts her environment to suit her, and it ain't that big a deal, you know. I don't have mass extreme, you know, when things change, you know, somebody gets sick, somebody's hurt, whatever. It doesn't get crazy, you know, because we're never, we're not always on the brink, you know, and most households are like on the brink of freaking out and going crazy about something, you know. Who spent the last money in the checking account? Oh, you know, whatever that is, you know. Most households are right on the edge, you know. I told you not to take that card out. That's it, no card for you for the month. Fuck you, man. So when you get sick, you know, or you're exhausted from work or whatever the situation is, it just seems to break the camel's back, right? You're always ready. Everything's just always ready to just... And I hate that. My mother was like that. My father used to call her Maximum, right? Because if she was happy, she'd be super happy. if she was mad, she'd be super mad. You know, I mean, she's just always maxing out in whatever direction emotionally, you know, and I got that. I saw that, you know. And I like to keep things on more of an even keel, you know. I mean, if you're always, you know, if it's like if you're always out there doing something exciting, you know, it's like you can't not be doing something exciting, or you're just bored to frickin' tears, right? You're just bored to tears. My God, I gotta do something. Dude, you just went fucking skydiving. I know, I'm so fucking bored now. Like, whoa, man. Those are the guys that are hauling ass down the middle of the highway, in between cars, zipping at 80 miles an hour, zip, 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 flipping people off because they're not getting out of the way, right? That's one of those guys. Now that is one of those maximum extremist guys who has to be on the edge every single minute of every day, you know? Hi. Do you want to go outside? Did you want to go outside? What do you want? You want to get in the chair? You want to get in the chair? You want to get in the chair? Okay. Well, you let me know what you want, okay? You just got to tell me. I can't read your mind. I mean, I can try, but you're hard to read. You're really hard to read, dog. Yeah. You, yeah. You're a kooky dog. You're a kooky face. No one knows how to read a kooky face. Yeah, you're like a sphinx. I don't know what you're sphinxing. What are you sphinxing about? Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right, big face. Big face. Big face. You have such a big face. You got the big face. Hey, big face. That show Wings, right? The spin-off from Cheers, right? Yes, it was a Cheers spin-off. Wings was set in, Upper Boston? And that was the show where we first saw the actor who did the character Monk, Tony Shalhoub, right? Okay, I'm gonna assume that you want to go outside. Are you ready? You want to go outside? Come on. You want to go outside? See? She fooled me. She totally fooled me. She got me up. I got up. I walked to the door, and what did she do? She turned around and she walked to her bed and laid down. Because she don't know what she wants, right? She's a kook. She's a cuckoo. Cuckoo in the cabeza. That's my dog. And of course I'll get all situated sitting here. Look at my old hunched back. I'm watching myself straighten my chair and sit down. Old bald head, old head, old face. Yep. Like that line from Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon. You know, cut yourself shaving? Yeah. Old razor? Old face. That's it. That's why I don't shave. I got such an old face, man. If I shave, I might lose half of it. I'm telling you. All right, I'm going to do this hitski. Hitski, butski. Well, a message to the future, to those of you in 100 years who are perhaps watching this, or 100 years or beyond, right? You never know. I plan on taking these videos from YouTube and uploading them onto my own stuff, at some point. So, in fact, I'll probably take a break I'm probably going to start deleting some of these just movies, some of these random TV things. They've got, some of them have quite a few views. Is it worth it? Not really. I mean, I can lose a few hundred views from a video just to feel good about not having possibly copyrighted stuff. It'll probably happen after I go to the copyright school on YouTube and finish that course, and then I'll probably come back to my channel and clean house. I'm going to leave, regardless of what goes on, I'm going to leave all of the radio shows, unless it's something that's come out on CD somewhere recently and people are going to have a fit about it. Unless the official site, the official people for the recording have their own YouTube thing and are doing stuff, then I'll definitely yank it. X-1, that old X-1 and Dimension X and all that old science fiction, that's really open. There's how many people care about that crap? And that shit went post-copyright a long time ago. Totally. Yeah, so let's see. Some of the stuff you missed if you weren't here last night for the show, Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia. In the first set, I played a Fats Waller song, purely piano, called Squeeze Me. Just a Gigolo. Got a Feeling for You from the Hi Hatters. Billie Holiday, Back in Your Own Backyard. I did some Scrappy Lambert. I did Crazy Rhythm, only this time it's by Johnny Marvin, right? And Sister Honky Tonk by Benny Moten and the Kansas City Orchestra. Babyface by Whispering Jack Smith. It's Only a Paper Moon, George Olson. Picking That Guitar from Nick Lucas. And That's All That Matters to Me, Baby Rosemary. It was a great show, a lot of fun, great music. I picked out a few new songs, some Nick Lucas and some Fats Waller guitar and piano. I haven't been able to go out and gather up some new music. I'm going to have to do that today. I've got to print out some more of these sheets that I do my show on. And then I've got to arrange my show for this evening. And I think before I do that, I'm going to pick out a few more songs. I'm going to go through my who's who of jazz and pick out... I wanted to pick out some jive, but jive is more 30s, 40s, where I'm in the 20s, 30s. I might be able to get onto a little bit of early jive, but I'm more likely to find jazz, blues, and country western in the 20s and 30s. When I went out to get my radio... Oh, here's a funny story. We've got a travel trailer parked behind our mobile home here. We pay rent on storing it there so we can use it as a storage to hold stuff, right? Because I've got just tons of crap. And my wife, she stands at the back window, doing girl stuff, in the window with the mirror, So she's out there and she says, "Honey, didn't we have a trailer on the back, or a spare tire on the back of the trailer?" And instantly I went, "It's gone, huh? Somebody stole it." And she went, "Oh, yeah, there's nothing there." And I said, "Yep, I knew it." As soon as she said that, I knew it, because Tweaker Town, some tweakers like, and it was probably a neighbor. It was probably a neighbor tweaker, In fact, she said, at this neighbor over here, look at his trailer there, because he had a tire missing on his trailer, right next to us, right? And of course, I didn't look because I didn't want to look. I didn't want to look to see that, you know, our neighbor took a tire from us because he needed it, you know. Of course, if you had to come to me and ask, you know, hey, I really need a tire, I would have said, before you would even asked, I would have said, hey, would that tire work? Take it. It's sitting there, you know. It's the tire's as old as the trailer. It's a spare tire. It's never been used. It has never been of use, right? Take the damn thing. But to just help yourself to it because you decided that you needed it, that's different, you know. And I've been in that. I've been homeless and I've been without a lot before. I mean, completely without everything. So I know what it's like to take, and to take for yourself because you really, really need it. I mean, I've walked into, what is that? When I was a child, right, in my teens and homeless, I walked into a Target one time and sat down and put on new shoes and walked out with them, right? Why? Because I was homeless and young and needed some shoes that weren't falling apart, right? And knowing that I'm not going to find a good pair of shoes in the trash, you know, you do what you got to do. And do I feel bad about it? Yeah, of course I did. That was a scar on my soul. That was a scar on my karma. Yeah, all of those things I felt. Everything that I've done that I should not have done, I feel bad about. You know, I feel it all the way down to my core. And I remember a lot of the stupid little tiny itty-bitty things that most people have forgotten. I did what? When? Huh? Yeah. Those things don't leave me. They haunt me. You know. So if I've wronged you, you know, I do deeply regret it, you know, and I am remorseful, and I do beg forgiveness. You know, I can't apologize because it's not, you know, it really wouldn't mean anything, right? It's so far beyond, you know. I am regretful. Let's just leave it at that. Because I wouldn't remember, really, honestly, who or what. Just the feeling, just the knowing, you know. Yeah, yeah. It's like when you're a little kid and you do something or take something or, you know, fuck with somebody, you know. And then, you know, decades later in your own life, you see it happening to somebody or somebody's doing it to you or what have you. And it takes you right back to that moment. And then you're in the aha moment, the epiphany state where you're going, oh, wow, the other side of things, now I get it. Or you can observe it from on high, looking down, going, oh, shit, that's what I did? Damn, you know. And if you don't have any feelings of remorse, then another scar on your soul. Yes, indeedy. I'm going to have to warm up that coffee again. It's a constant process. And I need to get a hot plate. A coffee hot plate or a cup. And then you set it down and it engages to keep warm. Yeah, I you know, every day I have this realization of, you know, how important these mornings are to my psyche. I mean, my whole being, really. I mean, when you've spent your whole life internalizing everything, right, and never talking to people about what's really going on inside, you have a tendency to just live inside yourself, you know, and not want to share, you know. And it's really hilarious how from the beginning of this show, from, you know, season 1, episode 1, how much things have changed to where these mornings are just a normal part of my life. You know, I mean, sitting here, shooting the shit, drinking coffee, doing bong hits, which is something that I've done pretty much every morning of my life since I was a teenager, since I was about 15 years old. You know, a daily ritual for me has been to get up, have some breakfast, get ready for whatever it is I got to do that day, and then get high, and then go do it, right? Go to school, go to work, whatever. And then on top of that, it's always been, do I have anybody to talk to in the mornings? And then is it worth my time to even bother? Or is it just in one ear and out the other? Do they hear me? Do they care? Very rarely have I found that person. Usually it's just me. If I'm in the morning, it's just, you know, you can ask people that I've worked with and gone to school with and stuff, that usually in the mornings it's goof time. It's get up, you know, have your breakfast or coffee and get high, and then rather than express actual thoughts and talk, I usually just, I'm goofing, you know, and would do random voices and go on tangents about things and listen to the radio and you know, magnify everything into a humorous but you know, this is kind of all of it, but mainly it's become my outlet, you know, my way of uncorking, unbottling all of this shit that would normally keep me bogged down mentally and emotionally, so that I really can't do anything comfortably, you know, because I'm still wrapped up in all of this shit. So this helps me to get it out, so that by the time my family are awake, or by the time I have to get up and go out and do something, I'm in a completely different frame of mind, because I've emptied myself, you know. The little things that I want my daughter to hear that I, you know, never have a chance to say to her, I can say them here, you know. And at some point, you know, if things work out, she will be able to view these things and know that I know that I was here, you know, because it really is, you know, out of sight, out of mind. Once you're gone, you know, how long does it take before you're gone? Usually about lately it's like 1 to 3 generations, and you're completely forgotten about, and nobody remembers who you are or who you were or anything about you, right? And the only thing left are a few records, a few photographs, you know. Gosh, look, great-great-grandpa, he was in the Marines. I didn't know that about him. That kind of shit, you know. And I really would like more for my daughter than for her to have a couple of photographs and a couple of, you know, recordings or whatever, you know. And for the most part, that's what my YouTube channel was just a small collection of little video creations with or without me, right? And now, with the live stuff, my channel has become a channel about me, for me, right? For my family, for my friends. And on top of that, it also has a huge collection of media that expresses who I am and why I became who I am, right? Because a lot of the stuff that I choose, the old-time radio, the old educational films, the TV-related stuff, the movie-related stuff, it all has something to do with me, whether I've seen it, whether I experienced it, or it's one of those, like Egypt. I mean, I'm just really big on Egypt for some reason. I don't know. You know, old police drama. old, like That's Incredible, In Search of, Nova. These are things that were with me during my youth and my growing, and helped create who I am. That's why the channel is littered with all of this weird hodgepodge of entertainment, because that's what I grew up on. That's who I am. So when you're talking to me after having watched 100 of these live shows or 100 videos, you start to get it. You start to put the puzzle together and figure out, oh, that's why he's such a weirdo. My God, he grew up on this shit. I didn't just grow up on Underdog. I grew up on The Shadow. I grew up on Jack Benny. I grew up on Eddie Cantor and W.C. Fields and Al Jolson. So I'm a multi-generational traveler. I don't just live in the now. I live in my past as well as my father's past and his father's past, and I try to reach back as far as I can to help shape my existence, right? Does anybody get this? Are you taking notes? Oh, coffee, baby. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. Totally. So tonight, it's Tuesday night, so we have an episode of In Search of. I want to say, what do I want to say? Let me look in the program guide here and see what I see. This week is Other Voices. Yeah, and at noon, well, actually, there's an X-1 happening at 8 after the show, and then at noon, there's an episode of Dragnet. At 4, A View from Space, and then In Search of at 8 p.m. this evening. And there's great stuff happening all week. Tomorrow night at 8, Roller Derby from the 1950s, I think. Thursday night, That's Incredible. And at 4, Mexican Village Life, one of those educational films where we take a visit to a Mexican village and experience what it is there. And then at 4 o'clock on Friday, Circus Kids. We do the same thing. Educational film. We go with kids who live and work in the circus. And then at 8 on Friday, Shopping Bag Lady. The Shopping Bag Lady. About a young girl who meets a shopping bag lady and forges a relationship with her in Central Park in New York, I believe. So yeah, check it out. There's a lot of great stuff happening this week. Next week as well. I just put the programming together for next week, and I'm just about done uploading next week's programming. And then I'll put a program guide together. I'm running out of That's Incredible. And I think I'm just going to let it go and then fill that spot with educational films. And then the same thing when I run out of In Search of. I really don't want to hang on to any videos that, especially in a series, because if somebody comes along and says, "Ooh, you're copyright claim on that episode," well, then that puts all of those videos in jeopardy, which means that getting the boot from YouTube, right? So I may wind up just going through and just cleaning house, and go back to. I really don't want to use any network, any really heavy corporate greed stuff. All of my stuff, it's a non-profit channel. All of my stuff is uploaded for discussion, for education and historical purposes. Yeah, it is entertainment, but watch it and let's talk about it. That's why I'm here. But at the same time, do I need it on my channel? No. it's nice to have it and be able to say, hey, check this out. Do you remember this show? So I don't know that I want to do an entire series. Other than old time radio, right? My initial idea was, all right, I'm going to find every In Search of, and I'm going to load it up, and then I'm going to find every single That's Incredible and all of the Novas, and I've got 2 decades of Novas. It's like, I'll go back to uploading lesser content, educational films, old time radio, that kind of stuff, and then start developing some more of my own stuff, right? Am I going to keep a lot of these things around? I don't know. I don't know. I got denied on my Night of the Living Dead thing, and I just wanted to win the claim, and then I was just going to delete the video anyway, right? But I didn't win the claim, so I'm going to have to, at some point, go to copyright school and then get that dealt with, and then just go through and clean house, so I don't have the worries, because it is a legal hassle, and I don't want to go there. What I'd like to do is get special permission from the actual copyright owners, not the people on YouTube who claim they're the copyright owner, just to fuck with people, or to be the only people on YouTube who hold it, like Periscope. Just because you scan it and own the film doesn't mean that you own copyright on it. So, yeah, I may just get rid of a bunch of stuff. Regardless, at some point I need to take everything from YouTube and upload it download it onto my own external hard drives, and keep all of those files here with me. It's neat to have it on YouTube, and for now it's safe, but I really need to bring it home and have it here with me. Yep, yuppers. Now I'm fidgety again, cause fidget. Yeah, for some reason there I dropped 21 frames like an hour ago, just out of nowhere. Just really quick while I was doing my pre-show. A couple of frames dropped. I don't know why or where. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. We have got this thing here is still rolling. And that is my OneDrive was still running on this computer over here. And at some point it probably did a little bit of something that caused the internet speed to slow up. So there you go. That probably did it. That's where I've had problems before. My graphics computer all of a sudden decides to start loading stuff up to the cloud, and it steals part of my signal from over here, and kilobytes drop over here because they're used over here, and my live feed suffers, right? And that's a bummer. That's a big bummer. That's a big 10-4, buddy. Yeah. Well, it looks like everybody's run off to work, and Joey's probably headed off to bed already, and I've got some more coffee to drink. I got a couple of more hours to go here. I mean, it's only 6. It's only 6 in the a.m. here on July 16th, the 16th of July, 2024. Yeah, I've got to make some plans this week, and then, of course, over the weekend, do some more work on Reunion 2025. It's real important that I get things done early, most of the major planning done early, and then just have a little bit of legwork to do every month until we get there. You know, the main thing is to get a couple of people involved with invitations who are inviting the correct people, meaning people who aren't going to blow it for everyone. I don't want, you know, whatever your hang up is, whatever your situation is, I don't want extremists. I don't want somebody who's going to show up in political shirts, political crap. I don't want somebody who's going to show up and then drink every day, all day long, and be shit-faced and annoying, right? I don't want that. I don't want somebody who sits there and chain fucking smokes marijuana or cigarettes all fucking day either, right? If that's your fucking hang-up, get a room somewhere, and when you have time away from your vices, come and hang out with us, right? On occasion, I will take myself away from the population, extract myself from everyone, and maybe take one person with me and go have a couple of hits and then come back. But I'm not going to be, I got to go to the bathroom, and then come back and say, hey, yeah, let me go to the bathroom, and then just a second, I go to the bathroom. You know, if that's the case, leave your you stay home with your syringe, all right? Don't bring it here. So whatever your hang up is, you know, if it's frickin' soap operas, you know, if it's your phone, turn your phone off and leave it in your pocket. You know, if you can't do that, then stay home with your phone. You know, pull your phone out, take some pictures, stick it back in your pocket. Take a picture, share it, put it back in your pocket. Don't sit there with your phone the whole time so that every once in a while you go, that's right, you know, 15 minutes after the conversation. I hate that. You know, you're trying to experience something with somebody and they're stuck on their phone. You know, and they're just yeah, oh yeah, right, oh yeah, I'm sure, you know, and it's like, you're not even here, you're not even engaging, you know, peripherally you suck, get the hell out of here, you know. If you want to fucking live and experience something, this is, you know, hey, this is life, you know. You want to go spend it on your fucking phone, then go away, you know. People who are watching this show, you know, if you got shit to do, put the phone down and go fucking go to work. You know, sit here watching this shit. What are you, stupid? You know, go live your fucking life. This ain't my entire life, you know. This is my morning routine. When I get done with this, I got a whole other part of my world to live, you know. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. So the whole, you know, idea of getting together is to get together, you know, not to let's get together and then we'll all sit around together and share memes and videos and text each other. What are we, 12? We didn't do that back then. What did we do back then? Hey, we sat around a fire and we talked, you know. We listened to music, you know. We experienced things, you know. Oh, I really, you know, there some fucking ground rules need to be laid down at a reunion festival thing, you know. Phones are to be used for emergencies only and to fucking record photographs and videos, and that's it. You know, think of this as a video camera for the entire duration. Don't think of it as a phone. I wish I could put up a pay phone there at the festival, right? Not only as a photo op, but to say, hey, look, it's an actual phone. If you need to use the phone, get in there and use the phone. Just like back then. What are you doing? Well, I'm at the phone booth here at the party. You know, we're not allowed to use our cell phones. So I would totally dig that. What, no cell phones? Yeah! For the whole week, yeah! You know? And just have stipulations, you know? Yeah, you need to talk to somebody. You know, go over to the phone booth area and use your fucking phone. Don't sit in the middle of a fucking crowd. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Nobody wants to hear it at the theater. Nobody wants to hear it at church. Nobody wants to hear it at the fucking Walmart. Nobody wants it. You know, be courteous and take your shit and go over to the phone area. little lounge set up under a canopy, in the shade where you can sit down and to your heart's fucking content. But don't force everybody else to have to experience your conversation with you. That's fucking rude. If we're gonna go back, let's go back. Let's not take now back with us. At this point, I just need a couple of more like-minded individuals who are on the same wavelength, who get it. And then we can continue to plan this and work at, fundraising and further planning and just try to get something nailed down, like a guest list. A tentative guest list. All right, I need to know about how many people are coming. Less than 100, more than 100. Less than 500, more than 500. I just need to know, right? I don't want it to be huge. I want it to be big enough to sustain itself, i.e. ticket prices versus actual costs. I'd love it if there were enough people there to make it worth the gathering, but not so many that it takes away from the intimacy of the gathering, right? So there's a balance, If it gets to a point to where it is more a festival than a reunion, because that's kind of what I'm expecting, then it will maybe take on two different lives. There is the daytime events that are designed around reunion stuff, and then the nighttime events, the music, which becomes more about entertainment and bringing in more people, because they want to come just for the entertainment. They're not necessarily reunion people, right? So we get those people in the evening who are coming in, friends and family still, but who aren't necessarily, maybe they live in the area, so they don't need to go on the tours, they don't need to hang out and do this or that or the other. But they do want to show up in the evening with their friends and party, right? There you go. So, probably looking at population explosion in the evening. Hey, party going on, everybody, but then you got to have invitation, you got to pay your ticket, you got to get a wristband. If you're drinking, you got to do this, and then you got to obey the rules. We get more people, which means in the evenings we're going to have some kind of security staff to man the front gate, as well as patrol the area and say, hey, anybody need anything, here I am. If anything's going on, just let me know what you guys need and I'll take care of it. Somebody who can sit back and wait for one or two of the people in charge to say, okay, hey, you need to go deal with that guy now. He's out of control. But for the most part, security staff who just hangs back, enjoys the fun, and allows people to do whatever they're going to do. Just keep the things on the cool, on the cool side. That's it. During the day, a volunteer lifeguard / paramedic type person to hang out during the day, who's mainly invited, right, to share in whatever's going on, but asked to be there for the whole weekend, and then probably not only allowed to be there for free in exchange for services, but then probably given a small stipend at the end for, services rendered. Old people, sick people, kids, whatever. I think it would be just like the point of having sunrise services with breakfast. It just seems to fit with the event, right? And with all the other kind of people that are going to be there. You know, I mean, if it was just me, this would be my sunrise services, getting up, having some coffee, a couple of bong hits, doing a little bit of reading, relaxing. But, you know, there's going to be a lot of different ways of life coming together, and I want to make sure that everybody's represented equally. You know, so there you go. So we'll have a little, you know, sunrise services Saturday and Sunday mornings. Hopefully with a little guitar music, hopefully with a really good big pancake breakfast each day, you know. Yeah. So we're going to have 3 barbecues, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. We'll have 3 breakfasts, Saturday, Sunday, Monday mornings. It'll start the beginning of the day on Friday, but people are going to be able to show up the Wednesday before at the earliest, and then stay until the Wednesday after at the latest. So we'll have the whole camp area for a week, and then we'll have time to set it up and time to break it down. Breaking it down could go it could go a couple of ways. It could get broken down and then a lot of the stuff just destroyed, but it could get broken down and a lot of the stuff stored somewhere for future use. Because if it turns into an annual thing, you know, okay, we've got more shirts to sell, we've got past shirts and we've got new shirts, we've got yearbooks, you know, we've got slideshows on disc, you know, to sell, things that we can do to raise more money. You donate this, you get these items. You donate this much, you get, you know, you get a bigger package of not just items, but it's like, okay, this pays for your, you know, for each amount, for each $100, you know, or $250 donation, you know, it gets you past t-shirts, new t-shirts, a yearbook, and you're camping for the next thing. You know, here's your camping pass discount thing, which goes down from $50 to $15 or something. So you're just paying for camping, but your donation has helped pay for the music for the future show. However, you know, I really need people on board who have done fundraising, who have done events, who have helped plan and carry out things of this magnitude before, because it's a first for me. You know, I mean, the most I've planned are birthday parties or dinner parties or something, and not a whole lot. Totally. So yeah, excitement, fear. Every once in a while I'm overwhelmed and I think, oh my gosh, what did I do? Right? Now, before, a couple of years ago when I tried this and it was like, no, everybody was like, whatever. And then I did this and a couple of key people said, yeah, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. So I need those key people now to help me gather more people, right? Mainly it's going to be people that I don't know. This party is going to be filled with a lot of people I don't know. Well, I don't know anybody. I mean, nobody knows me. I don't know anybody. You know, I mean, I don't even know my family. My family don't know me. We've been apart so long. You know, we never really knew each other back then. So it's important to get to know people, you know, especially those people that you never really got to know. You know? You know? You know. Yeah. So, and time is short, you know. It just is. There's no denying it. Time is definitely on the out. So it is really important to do as much as possible to fill that void, you know, to span that gap between the years, decades, you know. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who are, well, God, if he's in charge of it, there's no way in hell I'm going. This is going to be a fucking screw fest, right? It's a bunch of nutcases. And I don't want that. I don't want people to turn away from this thinking that it's going to be one thing when it's going to be completely the opposite. You know, it's all about family and friends, kids and grandkids, you know, potato sack races and barbecue. I mean, that kind of shit. That's what it is. You know, I mean, there's literally going to be somebody in charge of events for kids, for little kids, events for adult kids, you know. So, yeah, I mean, to have a big, giant, artificial turf lawn area is really important for the whole aesthetics of the festival. You gotta have a lawn. You can't do this in the dirt. My brother's like, yeah, well, back in the day we used to, you know, do it in an old burned out house or something. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's great. If we were to hold it at a place like the Naval Academy in Elsinore, okay, then we could put the band down in the pool, the old empty, dried up concrete basin, right? Sure. And then have everybody around that. And have all of the music and stuff set up down there, the whole show. So no matter where you are, you could just look down and go, hey, check that. You know, and even have a little platform inside there. So, but, you know, if we're going to hold it out in the dirt somewhere, there's got to be some grass, real or fake. There's got to be a place for people to throw out a blanket, to do potato sack races, to lay out and watch, listen to music, you know, for kids to play around on. I'm sorry, there's no dogs allowed. It's just easier that way. I'm really just trying to talk myself out of depression. That's basically it. And lately these mornings have been that, me just trying to keep myself from feeling miserable. I do it to myself, really. Heaven forbid I should, you know, speak up and express my feelings or emotions to somebody who you would think would say, hey, I don't understand, I don't get it, but hey, I'm willing to, you know, I'm willing to give a shit, and I just don't get that. You know, oh, it's nothing under my own household. My household here is great. We're getting better from the flu. But, you know, the rest of my life, it's like, you just get tired of reaching out, you know. So tired of reaching out, and you wonder, well, what the hell? Is this something to do with me? You know, how could it be anything to do with me? Nobody even fucking knows me. How could they not want to talk to me when they never talk to me, so they don't even know me, you know? And then when they do talk to me, it's fucking small talk, you know? I really have been going out of my way since my father died to, you know, reinvest into my family, you know? And it was really hard because, you know, 20 years ago, I tried to do this, invest in my family, and, you know, spent money and went in on a piece of property with my father and tried to create a family home for not just me and my family and my father, but the rest of the family, a place in the country where we could all come together and have barbecues and parties. And you need a place to stay. There's a cabin over there. We just built it. You know, help yourself. You know, that kind of a place. And, well, my father didn't want to have anything to do with it, so much so that I finally just had to extract myself. You know, that's kind of, you know, I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to reach out to people, you know, and reinvest, you know, and, you know, let me know now if I'm just shooting myself in the foot, you know, am I just humping the bunk here? Let me know if I'm, you know, on a pointless mission here, you know. Yeah, I gotta say, hey, you know, I'm me. If we're gonna do this, let's do this and you get to know me. You know, let's not just reinforce that stereotype that you have of me. You know, get to know me. I got, you know, wife and daughter and a whole life that's happened since the last time we talked. Let's talk about that, you know, and enjoy the past. But let's you know, we don't live in the past, we live in the now. Get to know me now. I want to get to know you now. You know, we can use the past as a catalyst to get to know each other now. You know, but you can't keep seeing me as that same guy, you know, because that's not healthy. And it hasn't been for my entire life. You know, everyone in my family saw me as that same little crybaby kid my entire life. They never let me grow up. They never let me have my own being. You know, to them I was always that guy, and I will always be that guy. And so therefore, how do we have a relationship now if you can't let go of that and, you know, let me be who I am? I try to give you the same courtesy. You know, if you want to reinforce that stereotype of your own, that's fine, but I'm not going to see you that way. At least I'm going to try not to. Will you not do me the same courtesy and try to see me as something different? Probably not. Probably not. You know. Yeah. So I get depressed. I get in those fuck it moods, and I just do what I gotta do, just enough to get by, and then I crawl back in bed. I eat just enough to give me enough energy to get back in bed, you know. I do just enough to keep people satisfied. I do just enough, you know. And it's not enough. And I get sick of being there, and the worst part is that it's usually other people who dictate our emotions, right? So I try not to go there. But it's super tough. So I spread myself really thin doing other stuff. You know, when I get done here, I'll continue to upload videos for next week. In the next day or so, I'll have all of those videos uploaded, and I'll create a program guide to upload on Saturday. Friday, Saturday, whatever. And then I'll start working on videos for the following week. And just ticking off boxes, you know, tick, 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 tick. And that's it. And I'll do that just to keep my head busy, you know. If I'm going to invest myself emotionally in anything, it's usually something under my own roof, in my own household here. Mainly because I can't trust the outside world to give a shit about my emotions as much as they care about their own, right? Usually people don't even care about their emotions past satisfaction, instant gratification. You know, that's the population of people who pop into my live stuff and then leave, pop in and then leave, pop in and then leave. I'm not getting any instant gratification here. Is this head going to pop off? Is he going to do something? Is he going to start singing? What's fuck it, I'm out of here, you know? So, yeah. Yeah. That's not what this is. This is therapy. Pretty much that's what this is. This is therapy. This is a place to vent, a place to work things out, spitball ideas. You know. Yep, what are we going to do tonight, brain? Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world, baby. That's it. That's all there is to it. And I don't have any ambitions like that at all. You know, I can't even take over my own world. So I'm going to leave that to the others to screw up. And it's going along pretty good. This world is getting pretty screwed up pretty quick. It's, you know, if that snowball wasn't melting so quick, it would be getting really big right now. But, you know, I mean, it's overnight. Things are going to get so bad that people are just going to be fucking lost. People are just going to be going at each other like crazy because all of a sudden, overnight, shit's going to stop. Food's going to stop rolling. Gas is going to stop moving. People are going to stop working. Water's going to stop. It's going to get bad real quick all of a sudden. Really, it makes me sick to my stomach to think about it. You know, how bad it's going to get, how quick, you know, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Nothing. No amount of planning is going to, it's going to be some hardcore planning that's going to save you from this. There are a lot of people, wealthy people, well-to-do people who know, they just know that it's going to get shitty, you know, and they're planning for it. These are the people who are going to populate those big empty cities in China. They're just going to pick up and leave from here because of the poor planning on the United States part, right? And they're going to know, well, if I give these people $1 million or $2 a year, they're going to take care of me, you know. And it's places like China that still have a lot of clean water and natural resources. Yeah, you go to their cities and it's horrible, but that's where they keep it horrible, is in their cities, right? And you go out into the country, you take those long roads into nowhere, and it's beautiful out there, right? It's fucking gorgeous. And that's where they're going to go. They're going to leave these big cities, and they're going to leave all of these people to die, and all the wealthy people, all the well-to-do people are going to go hide underground and in bunkers and sky fortresses or whatever. They're going to go hide, and we're going to be left holding the bag. You know, they sell us all of our natural resources until they're gone, and then they take that money and take care of themselves. Same thing with the governments, corporations, major religions. Major religions aren't going to give a shit about anything but themselves when the shit hits the fan. Sure, they'll have people out there who are convinced that they're doing good, and they may be slightly backed up by the church, but in the long run, there's going to be a lot of those church people hiding out. You know, I want to see where Joel Osteen is going to be hiding out. He ain't going to be hiding out in that big cathedral, I'll tell you that. He's going to be hiding out in some underground bunker somewhere, you know, eating fucking caviar and drinking champagne, going, yeah, boy, them poor souls. I'll pray for them, you know. And you better fucking believe it, you know. And it's going to happen like that with, you know, millions of people are going to run off and hide and leave billions of us to suffer. You know, why? Because humanity couldn't put a cork in it decades ago. Humanity couldn't, you know, learn how to get along with the planet decades ago, or learn how to get along with each other. You know, do we deserve to survive? The majority, no. Probably not. Me? Probably not. You know, my daughter, yeah. You know, because she's, you know, worth it. You know, she's invested enough into herself to be worth saving, you know. She's the kind of people that they need to take and put on an ark somewhere and send away to come back in 1,000 years when everything's, you know, grown up. But not people like me, you know. Nope. Fighters, haters, losers, you know. I'm telling you. Wow, 6:30 in the AM here. 16th of July, 2024. And yeah, what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Shit's going to go crazy here. And it's, no matter what you got, it ain't going to be what you need. Unless you're packing away food. And believe me, we're packing away food. Even if it's just beans or rice, cans of fucking tuna. It's getting packed away, man. And we're going to be fucking surviving on that shit at some point. When we went into lockdown during the COVID thing, and we went into lockdown for 6 weeks, right? We didn't have to do much shopping. We already had stores, supplies, stocks of canned foods and dried foods that I told my wife, look, shit's going to hit the fan here at some point in the next couple of years. We need to start piling up fucking food, right? And we got to, and storing money and water and all of these things, right? And we got to where it was like, oh shit, they just shut the fucking country down, right? And it was like, do we need to go out for anything? And it was like, no, we got flour, we got yeast, we got canned meats, we got beans, we got rice, and pastas and sauces, and it's like, not really. We don't need to go out for anything, right? We were already fucking set, And that's planning. That's because I saw the writing on the fucking wall, basically. I just kept putting pieces of the puzzle together, thinking, you know what, something, and I feel that way now. Something screwy is about to go on, which is why they're allowing what's happening in this country to happen. It's all part of the master plan, all right? You need somebody in government running amok so that you have someone to blame for the country's downfall, basically. And it may not be that actual person, but it damn well will be the administration and how the citizens react toward that administration against the opposite parties and the opposite contenders, right? It's just the way it's going to work out. They need a patsy, they need a fall guy. They can do a lot of shit if you got the right guy who's just going to go along with it because he wants a payday, or he's going to go along with it because he actually thinks he's in charge. And we got it on both sides. I'm not saying that I'm for one side or the other, because I'm not. I'm for neither side. I'm for our side. And right now, our side is not represented by either party. So I can't be beholden to either party, right? There you go. If people want to come to you and claim, well, that's bullshit, because my party cares about them, and then the other guy will come along and say, that's bullshit. My party is the party that cares about the people. So, don't come at me with that kind of bullshit, because it's bullshit. And you're just programmed with propaganda to say that, to spout that, to repeat rhetoric, so I can't listen to people who just repeat. You're just a parrot puppet. That's all you are. If you can't think for yourself and realize that they're doing nothing for us, then you're just part of the problem. Go away. I don't want to talk to you. You're part of the problem. That's it. That's all. Don't talk to me about sides and parties. That doesn't get us humanity. That gets us more bullshit. That gets us people shooting at each other. That's what it gets, and that's fucking ridiculous. That is fucking ridiculous. Don't matter who the fuck it is. If that's what democracy is, we're screwed. If democracy is standing up in a crowd and wanting to change the country for whatever reason, for whatever purpose, no matter who the fuck you are, hated or loved, if the answer to that is to get shot, right, or to somebody to shoot at you, that's not democracy, right? Democracy is being able to walk up to that son of a bitch and scream in his face, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, I'm not going to vote for you, you're wrong for this country. Of course you can't even have emotion anymore without getting gaffled up and hauled away. So that's not democracy either. What is democracy? It certainly isn't what's going on in this country. Autocracy, fucking medieval fucking serfs and peasants and fucking slaves. I mean, it's just horrible. Horrible. I don't know. Totally. I mean, a lot of these brainwashed, force-fed fucking idiots would like to come and start pointing the finger at me and giving me shit for having an opinion. You know? I got no problem with you having an opinion as long as you're not forcing it on me, right? And I don't force anything on anyone. I mean, you either do or you don't. You either can or you can't. You know? Either way, it's not my problem. You know? And I'm not going to berate you for having an opinion that differs from mine. You know? Do I want to talk to you about it? Yeah, if you have a differing opinion that is your own, you know, and not manufactured and forced upon you until you believe that it's your own opinion, because that's not wrong either, and that ain't democracy. That's admin, you know. That's being sold on ideas and ideals by people who just want to profit from you. Wear this label so we can categorize you and we'll know what to sell you. There you go. There's what's going on in the country right now, right there, and in most of the world. You know, most of the developed world. I would like to live in an undeveloped world, basically. Last night we watched The Cave of Bones, Netflix documentary about archaeologists that went into into a cave system in Africa where an early version of human, an early hominid, took their dead to bury them underground in a cave, right? And wow, it was a pretty heavy, it was moving, it was really heavy documentary. If you get a chance, if you haven't watched, to watch Cave of Bones on Netflix. Really, really cool. Yeah, it was really, really heavy. Great animation, great story, great reveals. You know, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was highly produced, and you could tell that a lot of the stuff that they were to reveal had already, you know, and people were, you know, faking reactions to shit. But, you know, it was pretty heavy, pretty moving. I thought about getting into archaeology and anthropology and that kind of shit when I was young. I was really into past worlds, past humanity, which is why I probably thrive on science fiction, because it's just another offshoot of a possible timeline, right? Possible timelines in humanity and possible directions of humanity. You know, like H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, right? Where he goes so far into the future that humanity has kind of homogenized and become more of a caveman type people, and they have split into two separate species of humanity. One that kind of lives with nature, and one that uses the other beings as food and cattle, right? So it's really, really heavy. But, you know, could something like that have happened in the past as well? You know, sure. I mean, it's totally probable that an early form of Homo sapien had control over lesser hominid beings and used them as slaves, right? And at some point probably did crossbreeding with them and other species of humanity, right? Because we're supposed to have like a dozen or more different species within the hominid range, bigger people, littler people, and they all lived at some point there were a bunch of these different hominid type things living on the same timeline together with woolly mammoths and outgoing dinosaurs and winged things, so yeah, I totally believe that 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 it's possible that we've been on this weird journey for forever, and the reins have changed hands a number of times with the different species that have evolved, and I told my wife, what if this planet was a planet with kind of like these different ape-like creatures all over it, right? These cavemen type creatures that were just like apes, right? And what if different factions, alien factions, decided to use this planet as their battleground, right? And all right, everybody gets to seed a different species on each side of the planet, a different form of hominid, right? And everybody gets to seed this, and then we'll come back and see what happens, and see who's, all right, these guys won, so you're out of the game, you're gone, your guys lost, and then maybe they're using us like that, getting us to work against each other to see who, and all right, well, what about if everybody homogenizes and we get more of the races to come together to create one race, then what? Well, then nobody wins, and or these guys, I don't know. How would that work out? Is that what's going on? Are we just some kind of game? Are we some testing ground, some test tube science room thing going on here? I don't know. It's all kind of weird. It's all kind of weird. I try not to buy into the shit that people tell you to buy into. If they tell you to believe it, and they really, 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 really want you to believe it, well, chances are they're full of shit. Or chances are they don't really know, but they figure if they get enough people along to believe this bullshit, or what they just really don't know, well, then maybe they don't feel so alone. It's like, when your friend says, hey man, let's ditch school. And you're like, no. And he says, come on, man, let's go, man. Well, he's doing that. He's going to ditch school, but he don't want to feel guilty alone, right? He knows he's doing something wrong, but he don't want to feel guilty alone. He don't want to be the only one in trouble. So he gets some other idiot to go along with him. Misery loves company, right? So do idiots. I'm going to heat up this coffee, get it nice and hot, and it's going to burn me, and I'm going to love it. Oh, yeah. So yeah, my earliest memories of wanting to be in archaeology was King Tut, when King Tut went on tour in the 70s. King Tut, doo-doo, 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 funky Tut, right? Everybody was into that whole King Tut thing, right? Lots of books, lots of pictures, places where you could go and just, they were displays of giant photographs of King Tut related stuff, right? So if you couldn't make it to the actual tour, there was like a lesser tour, you know. You could just, there was so much King Tut, so much stuff going on, right? And then in the late 70s, my father would take me with him to UCSD, and I would sit in on his anthropology class and archaeology stuff. And that was fun. And that was entertaining as well as educational. My alarm just went off. I got to go wake my wife up, see if she's working today. I'll be right back. I'm back, baby. Okay, here I am. And that's a no. It's Tuesday, not Wednesday. My alarm is set for Tuesday because she had to do a thing last week. I keep going through the motions here, hoping that I'll just snap out of it. But man, I am just so fucking out of it. And it started with getting sick. And anytime I get, you know, the flu or a cold or something beyond my normal pain issues, and then beyond my normal health woes, right? It magnifies everything to the point where I cannot escape it. And then it just brings me down. It just totally brings me down. And then if anything else happens, I'm just catapulted into darkness. And, you know, other stuff can be just about anything, work, family, whatever. So if things happen out in the world, I literally have to cover my eyes, plug my ears, and just go loud as loud as I can, and not pay attention, because if I allow all this external stimuli to fuck with me, it will, and it will hard. And like the other day, I had to turn the fucking TV up, just crank it up, crank up the air, crank up the TV, you know, and just ignore what was happening outside, you know. I have to just ignore the fact that I'm surrounded by tweakers and thieves and assholes and idiots who would, you know, just as soon pick a fight with you than apologize for some transgression they did against you, right? Well, fuck you then. You want to let me shit on you? Well, fucking shit on you. Still shit on me twice? So I just have to turn my head. You know, it's either that or wind up in prison or in the morgue. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is, you know. I mean, there's at this point in my life, there's no in between. You know, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to force shit to happen, but I ain't going to fucking back down if it does. And by that, I mean, if you're coming at me, then you're coming at me to kill me, right? Which means I have to do what I have to do, right? So don't come at me, because if you come at me, that's the way I see it. I'm, you know, in my condition, it's not going to take much for you to take me out. So I have to protect myself, you know. And if you're going to come at me, one of us is going down completely, and one of us is being taken out of the picture completely. You know, the prison or the morgue. That's it. So pick one. If you're coming at me, pick one, because that's what's going to happen. That's the outcome. It's one or the other. You know, there's no in between anymore. If you come at me with a hand out, it better be reaching out for a handshake. If you come at me with a fist, you're going to take back a stump, you know, or you're going to have to explain it to the judge. You know, that's it. One of us is going to prison and one of us is going to the morgue. You know, I don't want it to go there, but I won't be forced, you know, into a box anymore. I won't be forced into a corner, into a hole. You know, you don't put baby in a corner. Nope, no one puts baby in a corner. Not anymore. You want to call me baby, that's fine. But, you know, don't think that you have control over me because you see me a certain way. You know, no. You know, you probably already have control over my emotions, which is going to get you in a lot of trouble if you take it any further. So it's best we just leave it alone, and you walk away, and you think that you're in control of the world, you know, as long as you do it over there. Then you're in control of your own world, but don't try to fucking control my world, no matter who the fuck you are. You know, because you haven't earned the right. If you haven't lived my life, then you ain't a fucking peer, and you got no right to judge me. Even if you're especially if you're a judge, you definitely haven't lived my life, and you got no right to judge anything about me. You know, just because you've been made a judge, it doesn't fly. You know, I would like it to be different. You know, I would like it to be like it was in the old days, where you knew the local judge and the local sheriff and the local pastor and the teachers and everybody, and you would have picnics and dinners and parties and dances and stuff, and you'd actually know these people, right? Nowadays, they're so removed from society, they're on another level, right? We've given first responders a higher position, a pedestal to stand on, right? And a generation or so ago, they didn't abuse that privilege, right? And now, you know, most of them, heroes, are out there going, you know, well, I'm a fucking hero, you know, give me something, you know. And then the true ones are the ones that are homeless, you know, and are having trouble even keeping their sanity because of the bullshit. See, there I go again, you know, off on these tangents, because the world just frustrates the hell out of me. As much as I want it to be real, they've just polluted it with so much bullshit that the world is just clouded. Reality is so fucking clouded now that people don't even see reality for reality's sake, you know. If they see reality, they see it so that it suits them, right? And, you know, their image. Image or imagination? I'll go with imagination. You can keep image. It don't matter what you do with image. The individual is going to see what they want to see. Unless, of course, we don't have individuals anymore. We've got groups of programmed individuals that become one entity of people who think the same exact fucking thing and wear the exact same labels all the time because they're programmed. They have no choice. You try to talk to them and they won't think outside their programming. And if you try to get them to do that, they can't. They can't expand on anything that they haven't been forced to think. You know? There's just no back and forth because they just keep spouting the same rhetoric. Political people who are overly religious, zealots, you know. There's just nothing there, you know. It's sad. And now people are believing the bullshit so deep that they don't even see what's happening around them. All they want to do is be entertained. Instant gratification. You know, please me now. Ugh. I think I got a dog situation. I'll be right back. No, Whitey is awake. Little biscuits and gravy, but he don't want to come out. Not until I sit and get comfortable, and then he'll start tickety-tick-tacking around the door. Like now. Tickety-tack. All right, let me check again here. Pardonnez-moi. What do you want to do, little guy? Look, here's Sam. See, here's Sam. There's Sam. Let's see if he wants to go to bed. What do you want to do? Drink some water? Okay, well, I guess I'm on duty here. I'm on duty. He said duty, ew. So what do you want now? What do you want, fish binder? There's nothing here. I had my cereal bar already. He's like, well, I'm out of here then. All right, back in bed with you. Back to bed too? Okay, in you go. In you go, little guy. Okay, no wedgie, no wedgie, no wedgie. Okay, I'm right here. I'm trying. I really am. Harder than I've tried in my entire life. I'm really, really trying. Usually I just give in and let the depression take me, you know. I try not to just ignore stuff anymore. I try to deal with it. If I'm mad, I'm mad. I don't hold it in. It usually goes away really, really quick. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry, mea culpa, you know. I was upset. You know, hope I didn't offend anyone by showing emotion, but I gotta show emotion. You know, I can't hold it in. So therefore I can express genuine, happy, sad anger, you know. And have it and experience it and deal with it and move past it. You know, it doesn't always sit well with people who don't do that. You know, people whose families don't talk about stuff. They keep it. No, we don't talk about that. No, we don't talk about that. No, we don't go there. You know, we keep things hidden. We don't discuss it. Which is how I grew up. You know, just don't talk about shit. Keep it hidden away. Don't have emotions. You might embarrass someone. You know, i.e. my father. I wasn't allowed to show emotion around my father, especially out in public, because he couldn't handle it. How dare you make people look at me? They ain't looking at you, they're looking at me. If they're looking at you, they're thinking, well, why is your kid crying? You know? And then, you know, be an asshole. There you go. And just, you know, reinforce the whole reason why the kid's crying. You know? My family weren't horrible people. They didn't know me. They didn't care to know me. They wanted to see me as a this or that, you know. And that's the unfortunate part. That's the thing that screws me up mentally, you know. I really have spent my life trying to understand what the deal is with myself as well as with others. So I invest a lot of time trying to understand what happened, where I went wrong, where they went wrong, you know. Other people don't want to do that. I don't want to think about the past, you know. Well, if you don't want to think about the past, then we don't really have anything, you know, do we? If all we had was that past, and you don't want to dwell on any of the important things that happened, well, then we've just got peripheral fluff, you know, and that's not enough, you know. Let's forge a relationship now, in the present. You know, a lot of people do that. A lot of families have grown and evolved to still have a good tight bond, or have a new relationship as, you know, as mother and son, or father and son, or brother and sister, or whatever, you know. And then sometimes it just never changes past that little blurb from the past, you know, because nothing else was strong enough to forge anything other than that little thing from the past. Yeah, which keeps me just wallowing in self-pity and misery, you know, wanting to move forward, and being bogged down by others who don't want to move forward, I guess, you know. They say they do, and then they don't. Because the minute you try to live in the now and be who you are now, they don't want to know that person. You know, I guess not. You know, I'm not important enough to get to know who I am. That's just the way it is, you know. And that's fine. You know, fuck it. I got, you know, 2 people in my life, you know, and we have reciprocal love and care and admiration for. That's it. That's all I need. Wanting more, trying for more, striving for more doesn't always get you more. Sometimes it just gives you a kick in the face, and that's it. Knock some teeth out. Again. Yeah, so there you go. When you're not important enough to have your own self-worth, you're not allowed to be you. You're only, all you can do is just, well, you can't be new. You just got to reinforce that goofball. You know? No. Man, how long you been away? I ain't been that fucking goofball in forever. I'm something completely different. I can see that you're something completely different. Which is why I'm here trying to, but... See, now I just want to crawl into bed, put on an old movie, something that makes me not feel, something I know all the words to, something I know every emotional point in the movie, and I can just put that on and pull the blanket over my face and go to bed. Man, I thought I'd get here a lot sooner. This is what, over 7 months into doing this morning stuff, right? That's a lot of episodes. It's a lot of hours, you know. And it's taken me this long to get to my normal depression. That's pretty damn good. I mean, that's over a half a year of warding off manic depression with a video camera, a microphone, coffee and bong hits, and a little blah 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 every day, right? That's pretty good. So, you know, I guess I should pat myself on the back for that, right? If I could just avoid others controlling my emotional state, right? Then I think that, and that's something that I've struggled with my whole life, you know. And people don't realize they're doing it. People don't even realize that they're manipulating your emotions by saying, don't even worry about it, man. Don't worry, we're bros, man. Don't worry about it. We're always going to be bros, you know. Or you're not sick, man. You're fine. Look at you. You're just manic, you know. You know. It's like, okay. So I've tried to come out 3 or 4 times and talk to you about these things, and all I get is, you know. Well, then obviously you don't care enough. You don't want to get to know what's going on in my present life. I'm always saying, hey, so what's going on? You know, who's that? And what's this? And how's things going? You know, and I don't get any of that. You know, I get to look at my ass. So, there you go. There's no balance there. So people watching this show are probably going to get to know me way better than anyone else. All you got to do is watch all of these episodes, and you're going to know who this guy is. You know, sure, you're going to think, the guy's a kook, you know, but you'll start to see that there's a real person in here, you know, with feelings and emotions and dreams and aspirations and, you know, and a family and a life, you know, and something that's different than you actually imagine. Something completely different than you would think of, you know, and you get to see more of that here, you know. Sure, I'm on camera and I'm on, you know, but this is as real as it gets, man. This is as real as it gets. It can't get any realer than this. I still want to do a long live broadcast. Telethon, not really, because it's not, I'm not here to entertain. I'd probably do things during the broadcast that you would consider entertaining, but mainly it would just be multi-camera angles of watching me live in this room, right? And I still want to do something like that, a fishbowl view, fish tank view of the room, not fisheye, fish tank, where you just see the whole room, you know, and head to toe, no matter where I'm in the room, my head doesn't get cut off, you know. And a few different camera angles, the ability to pipe in some kind of media, you know, and just kind of share what's going on, you know, on a regular, you know, here's what I do in a 24-hour period. You know, this is what I do. Do nothing on the computer, right? A day when I don't work on the computer, on a day when I'm just, maybe the most I do on the computer is listen to music, right? There's the sound of a dog again. I guess I should go check it out. I'll be right back. Don't want him to wake the missus up. Yeah, it was Oliver. He decided he wanted to go out and yell at the world. So I had to bring him in. Mom's still asleep, so he's not allowed to go out and scream. Of course, had we been listening on the night that somebody was probably out there stealing that fucking tire, we probably could have caught them. But he's always screaming about something, so he gets ignored. Yeah. Looks like somebody's back, hanging out. Howdy. Yeah, I've just been sitting here discussing the woes of my life and drinking coffee and doing bong hits, dealing with a plugged up nostril here. Jeez. I got a dog in front of me passed out. A dog to the left of me passed out. A dog in one room that's wants to go outside and scream. Another dog in another room who's too shy to come out and go to the bathroom because she wants to stay in the room with my daughter. And she's just a cutesy. Oh. I swear I think I hear toenails again, clickety-clacking on the floor. Yeah. So it's Tuesday. It's totally Television Tuesday. Anybody got any TV stuff they want to talk about? Any retro, vintage television stuff? I was just out in my storage unit pulling out that 1920s, 1932 radio, and had to dig through 2 or 3 televisions while I was in there. So at some point, I'm going to have to pull those TVs out, open them up, clean them out really, really good, check for damaged tubes, and try to order some tubes from one of these TV groups, right? And try to get these TVs up and working again. I love little old tube televisions. I've got one that's got this little cute little like 8-inch screen on it, and it's just, it looks like a big, you know, tabletop television, you know, one that you would have in one of those racks. Only it's really small. It's just really, really small. It's deep because it's a tube TV, but the face of it is just really small. It's really cute. So I want to dig that one out, and I was using it a while back, years ago when I first got it, and then the picture went out on it. So I have to take it apart and look to see if I've got a blown fuse, and see if I can get it up and working again. Because it's really, really neat. I love those old TVs. And then maybe give it away. You know, maybe hold it up for drawing and give it away when I get, if I get to 500 subscribers. That'd be cool. I'd like to give away bigger things. You know, I've got things to send out for my last subscriber drawing. Things kind of happen slow around here if you haven't noticed. And it's a non-profit channel, so I'm not in a hurry to go out and, you know, spend a bunch of money trying to promote a channel that's really a hobby, because it is a hobby. You know, I mean, I spent, $20 or something, and went out and got these really cool business cards made for my hobby. They're hobby cards, so that if I'm talking to somebody about YouTube and, you know, trying to explain what it is that I'm trying to accomplish here, I can give them one of these, and they know where to find me on YouTube. But other than that, I mean, it's not something that I make money off of. This is, if I were to try to make money off of any of this, it wouldn't be fun anymore. It wouldn't. It would be a job. And I already got a fucking job. I don't need a job. I need something that's fun, that's a hobby. So, yeah. This is fun. If I were to try to charge people or do it, monetize it, then it would be a lot of work. You know. At some point I might split and do 2 channels. You know, one with just all kinds of borrowed content, and one that's all original. And then the original one I can monetize, right? But the original, what is that? That's this morning show, and the little tiny videos that I create, right? That I create from scratch. Everything else, the nighttime nonsense and nostalgia and all of the other videos of borrowed content, that would have to be on a free channel, non-profit channel. Because I can't make money off somebody else's stuff, right? And doing a monetized channel with just me and my material, I'm not going to make any money off of that either. So what's the point? You know, I mean, literally, you know, fractions of a penny, you know, for such an enormous amount of labor, right? It's just not worth it. It just becomes work, you know. And then, pardon me, I do a little scratching and adjusting. It is morning, so I do have, you know, I do have that. It is morning. I got morning rights for scratching and adjusting, because that's what happens in the morning. Yeah. It's just unfortunate that you can't always be seen for who you are. People get a picture and then that's it. Stereotyped. Bada bing. You know, I really try to invest in who people are, and not who, especially not who they want you to think they are. I try to look past that. I try to look past what people say about people, you know, and try to invest time into getting to know them, you know. I try to invest getting to know my daughter on a personal level rather than father and daughter. Well, I know her because she's my daughter and I raised her and this is, and I know everything about her. No, because there's a lot that I don't know about my daughter, you know, because it all happens up here. So I want to get to know what's going on up there. So I engage properly in that, you know, and that means throwing away all of that stuff that you think you know, and just investing in what was going on right there in the now, you know. And it's nice to have that with people, especially people from the past, who you never really had a chance to do that. All you had was that, you know, school stuff and after school stuff and party stuff and, you know, other weird family stuff, and, you know, but you never had a chance to sit down and, you know, oh my God, you really like that? I never knew that, you know. Ain't none of that going on. And this whole morning thing is so one-sided, right? Because you have the opportunity to get to know me, but I don't have the opportunity to get to know you. Unless there's some kind of reciprocal back and forth, right? Which is kind of hard to do in this format. I get it. But there's still the opportunity. So here I am taking advantage of opportunity. Hoping others will do the same. And even if not in this format, in others, you know, in other, you know, areas. If we have a way of communicating, well then, you know, I don't want to be the only one going out of my way to try to communicate. I just feel like I'm getting my hand slapped when I try. So yeah, I'll send a message on occasion. Third-party message, whatever. It's still a message. I'm still trying, you know. I just want to do it on my terms, right? And it's hard for people to get that, to want to give up the power, the control over any situation. And the coffee's gone. Coffee's gone. And I've still got about 40 minutes to go here, which means it's going to be a lot of bong hits. A lot of bong hits between now and 8 o'clock. Indica. Indica. Yeah. I'm, you know, I'm just trying. And just keep trying. Every day I get up, I try. Every day I get up and I go, wow, I got up. You know, hey, I'm here. Because some nights I go to sleep thinking, oh man, it's getting rough. It's getting rough. Roof, roof, roof. But, you know, if I'm given the opportunity each day to be here, well then I better do something, take advantage of it. Even if it's just finding a video that kind of expresses something about me and uploading it. Right? Even if it's something as menial and as ridiculous as that, it still gives me a form of satisfaction, gratification, pleasure, you know. And then there are a lot of these things that I don't get to actually view until they're uploaded. And then I'll be thumbing around YouTube and it'll be like, oh look, one of my videos, and I'll watch it. You know, most of the old-time radio that I upload, I've listened to. All of the X-1 that I upload, I have listened to on countless occasions, driving in the car, listening to it during lunch, listening to it to go to sleep at night. So I've heard every single X-1 episode more than once, more than likely more than a dozen, on many occasions, more than 50 times I've heard these episodes. I mean, I couldn't tell you, the episode that we listened to this morning, Skulking Permit, is one of my favorites, and I have heard that episode over 50 times or more. Way more than, I mean, maybe 100. I mean, I've literally put it on and hit play every day for months and months, you know, just because it suits, just like putting on the same movie every night to go to sleep, because it puts me in that place that I want to be at every day. You know, I let that control my core emotions, you know, rather than external stimuli. Yeah, it can be a real bummer when everything around you and other people dictate how you feel. All right, I heard a nose sniff at the door. I'll be right back. Okay, I guess not. It must have been my imagination or one of these dogs sniffing, going, because it wasn't me. I know my own sniff. It's morning, I'm allowed to scratch. Probably my house settling into a sinkhole or something, with my luck. If it wasn't for bad luck sometimes, you know, knock on wood though, because I'm probably the happiest I've ever been in my life at this point. And we live in squalor, really. You know, living paycheck to paycheck, living in a house that's just fallen apart. You know, I got a van that just, I cannot get to run right. I don't have the money to invest in getting it fixed properly, so I just keep having to try to figure shit out on my own. I really need to just have a mechanic just drop it off at his house and just say, you know what, fix the fucking thing, get it back to me, you know. But it's a van with big giant windows, and so I hate to part with it. I want it close. Yeah, I just things, you know, things. It's always things. But for the most part, you know, super, super happy in my life. I get to play around on YouTube. I get to, at any given moment I can decide to change directions and go do this or that creatively. I'm thinking about picking up the acrylic paints and doing some painting, and then maybe giving the paintings away, So I don't know. Anything could happen. I'm thinking about going over and bringing over a bunch of 78s and digging through those and setting up a show live playing actual old records, Sam's dreaming over here. It was probably him that made the sniffing. It's okay, buddy. You're a good boy. Everything's all right. Have that dream, boy. Have that dream, but you're okay. I keep looking at my coffee cup here, and I know it's empty. It is one empty cup. Yeah, I really need to work on this air cooler. It's in. I need to duct it. I just need to duct it and get it done. So I think I'm gonna have to just go ahead and just dive into it. I'm feeling a little bit better pain-wise. For a few days, maybe a week, it was really hard to separate myself from all of the pain because it just got so much, and I had slowed down on my pain medication, marijuana, so much so that I could not get away from the pain. I found myself sleeping a lot in what I call pain comas, where the pain gets so great, I just get so sleepy that my body says, maybe you should just go lay down, and then I'm able to kind of separate myself from the pain, get up, get high, and it's been a few days, and today, while I'm still in pain and having to deal with crap, it's easier to manage now, and I can separate myself from that pain a little bit better. It's always there, but if I can just put it in the next room and not think about it as much, and have a little distance, then it doesn't hurt as bad. So I'm hoping today is going to be a good day with that, and I can move forward and do a bunch of things. I need to clean this room. It's cluttered. It needs to be vacuumed. It needs to be dusted. We live in the desert, so if I don't keep on top of this shit every week, after a couple of weeks, it's a nightmare in here. So I need to get off the dime, get my head out of my ass, and get moving. And it's hard to do that, dealing with depression. Because I'll sit here and I'll make a list and make plans and do everything, and then I'll just go, oh, fuck it. And I'll just crawl into bed and go take a nap. Maybe I should just have a nap first. And then if I'm really lucky, I'll get up from that nap and be in a better mood. It's not a fix-all, but it helps. And it helps separate me from the pain, which is really big. And then if I can wake up and then keep that distance, then yeah, totally. And I've got to do some uploading. I've got to upload more videos for next week. All of the videos are created now. I just need to upload them and get checks done. And then I'm whittling them down to just educational films, because it's, they're pretty much open for use. You know, they're educational films. Maybe of the past, 40 or 50 years ago, but they're still educational films. Let's educate. But I'll start weeding out a lot of the network, corporate, studio stuff. Because that says less about me than this other, the old-time radio and the educational films say way more about me than these random things from television in the past. Except for things like That's Incredible, In Search of, and Nova. Those are those three things right now that's happening on the channel every week that do have a lot to do with my past. So I'm going to try to keep those around as long as possible. But view them while you can, because at some point I'm probably going to delete them. I'm going to delete them. And I should probably put in their descriptions, to be deleted, as to not offend the copyright gods, right? So I'll do that. I've got to print out some more nighttime nonsense and nostalgia program sheets so that I can write up the program for this evening. I need to try to get at least a half a dozen new songs today and dump them into my program, and try to add them into the mix. I just got 12 new Fats Waller songs, right? But I don't want to use a Fats Waller song every day, so I need to get other new things to through. There are a lot of regular songs that I play, right? And I want to make that list get bigger and bigger so that I can go through a week without playing the same thing twice. I can now, if I really work at my scheduling and look back at past sheets, then I can do that. Do a whole week's worth of programming without playing the same song twice. And then at some point, I'll be able to go back and just reuse shows. I'll take this show and mix them together and come out with this show. And then write it up and then just go here and program it. Grab my first 4 songs, hit play. While those are playing, I grab my next commercials, get those ready to play. When this song is over, do a couple of seconds of announcing, and then go to commercials, come back, give it a couple of seconds of announcing, play 4 more songs. I mean, it's such an easy format, such a fun show, so that would make a great channel, right? Just nighttime nonsense and nostalgia, old 1920s and 30s material, and music and art and that kind of stuff. Just stuff having to do with the 20s and 30s, right? And then the nighttime nonsense and nostalgia show as the main focus, and then that's a channel right there, And then have a channel that's devoted to just shared content, right? And then have a channel that's just my original stuff, That's a lot of work. To have one channel, one network, one channel with a bunch of different things going on, that's different. But to have 3 channels with a bunch of different things going on, I would need a secretary, and I would need help. But then it would become work, and I would be monetizing, and it would just be not worth it. So if I were a younger man, I would be all over this shit. This YouTube thing would be taking me to glory. I would be knocking it out of the park every day with live, created, borrowed, everything, every day. 7 days a week, 365, baby. As it is now, I can do 5 days a week, devote most of my day during the week to playing around with this stuff. And, I'll spend 5 minutes, create the graphics for a video, take that video, put it in the editing program, create that video in about 5 or 10 minutes. So now I've spent about 15 minutes. And then I leave it alone and let it save, and it'll take anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours to save, depending on the size and capacity and depth and stuff. And then I'll go about and do something else. On this computer, get something started. And it's like, okay, I got an hour to kill. And then I'll go and do something. And kill that hour doing something else. You know? And lately, that hour that I've been killing doing something else has been taken over by depression. So, once again, I allow myself to have emotions, and so I can deal with it. I try not to allow myself to wallow in those emotions and begin the stages of self-pity and self-doubt and, you know, all of these other things. So I try to remain an even keel with my mental health, even though I'm totally screwed up. But I try, you know. And that's more than I can say about the last 30 years, you know. Well, 40, 50 years. I mean, because the last 20 years I really, really have been increasing how much I try, you know, mainly because I have a wife and a daughter that rely on me to be here in the now and not just crawl into bed and wallow. Of course, depression and antidepressants, you know, during the first 5 years of my daughter's life kind of stole that from me. And then just depression kind of hindered the rest. But this last couple of years, she's been the main reason to keep me out and has gone out of her way to keep me out of depression by involving me in the world, in her world, in the world in general, you know, getting out and doing things. So I have to pay that back by trying, you know. And this is a big part of me trying back, returning that, saying, okay, well, I'm going to do something for myself. I'm going to do something for myself and the world, and, you know, for any other weirdo that wants to find out how they can, you know, avoid having to do the things that I've had to deal with, you know. Or if you are dealing with those things, you know, you ain't alone, you know, and you got help here, you know, just send me a message. People that are younger, you know, not children, but young adults. I totally can help in just about any situation, you know, and hope that I have with some of the people that I've come in contact with here. You know, I hope that I've been some kind of help in some way, you know, made you laugh, you know, made you think, it entertained you in some way, you know, whatever. I'm here to please. I've always been here to please, to entertain, you know, to make people hopefully forget about how bad shit is, because that's all I've been doing my whole life, just trying to get past to the next moment without trying to be destroyed by the current moment that you're in, right? It's not for kids, but it's definitely not for adults only. I think even children could benefit on what's going on here. Why does he do that? Well, you don't want to do that. I won't. Really, honestly, a lot of the lessons that my daughter has probably learned about what not to do has come from me leading by example, right? No, don't do this, honey. I won't, Daddy. You know, smoking. She's not going to smoke. You know, I don't think she'll ever smoke or vape. I never wanted to. I only did it. Peer pressure is what made me start smoking. You know, peer pressure, family pressure, really. Cigarettes and marijuana. I never really wanted to. Especially the cigarettes. So I hope that she never falls victim to that kind of thing. She's got a pretty good head on her shoulders. So, you know. There's some kind of big dog out there yapping. It's going to wake my dogs up. Hopefully not. I want them to remain sleeping. I don't want them getting up and running around barking. At least not till 8 o'clock, you know, which is about 20 minutes away. Yeah, I've been trying the last couple of days to get out of the funk that I've been in over the weekend. Really wanting to make an effort toward well, getting to know people from the past, getting to know family from the past, getting to plan this reunion so that we have the opportunity for more of that, you know, but wanting to do it on my own terms. You know, it can be kind of cumbersome. So hopefully, you know, I won't let this keep me destroyed much longer, and we'll be able to get past it and move on with planning stuff. Because I've got a lot of work to do, and I don't need to be bogged down by depression, especially depression that's brought upon by, you know, external stimuli, things that I should not allow to control my emotion, but just wind up doing so, no matter how much I swear that I won't let it, you know. Yeah. So I will... Hi, Sam. He stuck his face out of his blanket. I will get done here, grab myself some breakfast, watch a little something on TV to get me motivated, and then I'll make the decision there. You either need to take a nap because you have no energy, or, which is where I'm kind of headed right now, I have no energy. I'm still kind of being affected by that flu and by depression. And depression sends me to bed. Pain sends me to bed. The flu sends me to bed. So all of these things are saying go to sleep, right? I don't want to be there. More than likely I'll get something to eat, do some creating here and get some work saving or uploading or something. It's going to take an hour and a half. I'm going to lay down for a couple hours, get up, this will be done, and I can move forward doing something else, you know. If I try to force myself to be happy or to work on something when I'm not feeling it, it just doesn't work. It's contrived, and I feel, you know, non-creative. It's like trying to, you know, I want you to paint a picture now, paint. You know, I can't. I'm not under these conditions, man. So I just have to take a break, step back, and try to come at it again, you know. A little food, a little rest, you know, and a little entertainment, hanging out with the spouse, with the kid, cuddling with a dog, and then I'm going to feel like, yeah, now I'm relaxed and I can do something else. And usually that leads me up to the nighttime show, and then I'm like, all right, and I get into that and I do that and I feel really good about that, and it's like, all right, honey, let's watch a movie. And then I'll do a couple of things and sit and watch a movie while a couple of things are going on, you know. And that's usually my week. And now I'm getting so good at doing that during the week that it frees up my weekends. But if I don't stay busy during the weekend, that can lead to depression. Because I need to keep something going on, not to avoid dealing with issues, but to avoid thinking about those issues that I cannot do anything about, right? I cannot control other people and how they are going to contact me or affect me, you know, or make me feel, you know. So I just have to, like, okay, everything's all good again. I can just think about this and do this, you know. if I get too much time to myself, idle hands are the devil's playground, an idle brain will fucking make you fucking crazy. Paranoia will destroy you. Was one of my mother's favorite sayings. Coming from a paranoid person. So yeah, all said and done, I am probably, this coffee is wearing off quick. I will probably just make myself and my wife a nice big breakfast and sit and watch some MacGyver or something, and then just crawl back into bed with a dog and a book or a movie and just get a few more hours sleep. And try to be up by lunch and motivated to do something, right? Granted, it will probably be extremely hot outside by then, so it won't be something outside. It'll have to be something in here. So it'll probably be something here on my computer consoles that will, facilitate a better show tonight or tomorrow. And then, hopefully I can stay on the up. And just keep moving. I don't want to move forward because I know where that leads you to an end. So I just want to keep moving. Even if I'm just going in circles chasing my tail, at least I'm moving. And I'm having fun. I mean, that dog, he's chasing his tail all the time, and I want to have that kind of fun. I mean, he will just walk through the house and all of a sudden spin around chasing and arguing with his tail, and then go eat some food, and then come back and eat, and then spin around and chase his tail, and then just chase his, and out of the blue he'll just get up and chase his tail. It's like, I want that. I want that. So I don't mind chasing my tail. I've learned that I can chase my tail for hours on YouTube, right? And it's just a blast, whether I'm creating stuff or looking at stuff or both. Looking at stuff to create something out of, I know a lot of the stuff that I'm bringing to YouTube is probably already on YouTube or been on YouTube, but it does say something about me, so I gotta share it. What is it? Friday night, the shopping bag lady. That says something about me. Those are the kinds of people, a shopping bag lady, a homeless person, some old guy who lives in a burned out building. That's somebody that would have befriended me and I would have befriended as a kid, ditching the 7th grade for 6 weeks, making friends with some old guy, because he needs someone to talk to and I need someone to talk to, or a mentally retarded gentleman, and making friends with that person because we share a commonality. We both smoke marijuana, we both listen to Dr. Demento, we both have mental challenges, so it's easy to form bonds with people who are outsiders, because I'm an outsider, so it's real easy to get there. It's real easy to know exactly where they're coming from. And as a kid, I grew up having lots of friends who were outsiders. Kids and then their parents, a family from Boston who moved out to California, and they were homeless, they were squatters. They hand painted their own station wagon, the paintbrush. They were people who got the most out of everything. The kid that I went to school with, Scott, he was so creative and imaginative and able to earn money legally at the drop of a hat. Would get a job they came into town, and he instantly had a job. You know, he's 15 years old, you know, my age, in the 8th grade. And the guy's got a job every weekend, just like me, every weekend going to the swap meet. You know, he was working at a bicycle shop, helping the guy to rebuild old bicycles and sell them, right? And I just fled. The bicycle shop just flashed in my head at the swap meet, going there to see him at work while I was at work, selling stuff at the swap meet. Usually we would go to the groves, walnut groves, and we would bag up walnuts and then bag them up in paper sacks and price them and just sell walnuts all day long, $1 a bag. And we would just make bank, and that's you know, one of the ways I made money was to collect them and then bag them and then sell them. Or my mother would make hair scrunchies, right? The little stretchy cloth things that you put around your hair and tie your hair up, right? She would sit at the sewing machine for hours and make those. And then walnuts and hair scrunchies. I mean, it was just a weird combination, but it worked. And then other little weird things that we would get and sell. But, you know, that was one of my earliest jobs. Yeah. But, you know, that family was one of my favorite families because they were able to just take random nothingness and create the most extraordinary lifestyle out of it. You know? And to this day, I miss Scott. I don't know where Scott is. I've reached out on Facebook. I don't know if Scott is still around or any of his family or his brother or sister. You know, I just don't know. And I hope that at some point I make some kind of reconnection with someone from that family because they were really important to me. It was right about the time that I went homeless. You know, I left home and was, bumming around, living on couches and on floors and stuff because my home life sucked, you know. And my siblings had already kind of drifted away, and I was just stuck with, you know, miserable parents who just hated the world. And so, you know, being a part of that world, you feel like, well, they must hate me too, right? Hi, Big Face. Do you want to go outside now? Is this you asking to go outside? You want to go outside now? Are you awake? Huh? Come on, let's take you out. Be right back. All right. Well, there's a dog running around outside, which is par for the course out here. I mean, there's always somebody's dog is running loose, which is why I can't take my dogs for a walk, which is why I can't ever allow my dogs outside the confines of our home or yard, because I cannot risk their lives against somebody else's stupidity. It's usually not the dog's fault that they have stupid humans, you know. Yeah. So there's that. So now I got 3 dogs outside, and they're upset because they keep hearing this other dog barking. And I don't know who the dog is. It probably belongs to a neighbor or somebody visiting a neighbor. A dog got hauled off the other day by the animal control. I think it was a stray dog or a dog that had got left behind. Somebody passed away in one of the dwellings here. So it could have been part of that. It's this is a microcosm community, right? So there's like 20 different residences or so in this little mobile home park, right? And from varying ages, from newborn to up into your 70s and 80s, right, at any given time. So there's always something going on, you know. Parties over here at this place with some lady in her 30s or 40s who is an alcoholic and likes to drink vodka with kids around, right? So that goes on, and then all that entails, the parties, the violent people that show up and all of that. And then there's, you know, random younger people, 20s and 30s, who like to party and do stuff and be loud. And then there's older people who are affected by health and stuff. And so then they're, you know, the ambulances and the coroners, and there's always something going on, you know. I could really use a whole lot less animal drama, you know, stray dogs and stuff. My home is already populated by throwaway animals that had to be rehomed or were strays. So I can't take any more in. If I had, you know, 5 or 10 acres, I'd have 100 fucking dogs, you know. But I can't, so I have to, you know, plug my ears, cover my eyes, and go blah, 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 and turn the stereo up and try to avoid the outside world and all that's going on out there. Well, I can't believe that it's just about 8 o'clock, time to shut her down and get on with whatever is getting on. I got to get down to the post office at some time this week and deal with stuff there. I've got to get out and get to the store, and I've got to go to Home Depot, and there's no Lowe's up here, so I got to go to Home Depot and get my ducting done. So I'm going to work on that today. If the missus has got nothing going on, we'll work together and we'll sit and we'll get this thing banged out and like that, you know, like that. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get it done and worked on, and yeah, it'll be really cool. It'll be really cool, man. I can't wait. Let's see. Closing sequence. Yeah, let's see. What is going on? We got nighttime nonsense and nostalgia. And barring any technical difficulties, they come out of the blue now. The other day I woke up and had an update. And a whole slew of issues popped up like that. I'm getting on my live stream early enough with about a half an hour to deal with technical issues. So usually within about a few minutes of 5 a.m., I can usually get on at about my regularly scheduled time. So same thing this evening. I could shut everything down perfectly and come back, and all of a sudden thing wants to update and reboot and do all of this weird shit, and then settings are screwed up, and all of a sudden nothing works right, and then I got to go in and try to figure out what the fuck happened. And since I don't know what I'm doing, that's really hard sometimes. I'm getting better. Usually I just go in and I reset everything to default, or I reinstall, or I do a cleaning or whatever, you know, and just say, all right, let's do this. Check the settings, do a test. Hey, it's working. Hey, it sucks. So, but check out what's going on the channel. 8 this morning. In just a minute, an X-1 pops up. right? And then I believe we got Dragnet at noon. So check it out, people. I'm gonna hit the closing credits on this and say goodbye and move on with my life and try to get something made of the day. All right, people, take care. You know, as usual, be kind, spread peace and love, and you know, don't take any wooden nickels. Unless, of course, wooden nickels are the current form of currency. Well, then get all the wooden nickels you can get, right? Otherwise, just you know, be cool. And most especially, stay weird. Because if you ain't weird, who else is going to be weird, right? Somebody's got to be weird. Why not you? Love you, people. See you tonight.